All right. Buonasera a tutti. Good evening, y'all. It is February 26, 2026, a little more past 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Rob time than usual, but appreciate y'all holding on for us. It is NFL Combine day, I guess you'd say. It's a multiple day event. Yeah, I was going to say it's a multiple day event, but well, I said day because it's the first day of the whole process.
Yeah.
Anyways. So we've got that to cover. We've got some stuff to cover in the beginning of spring training in Major League Baseball. Obviously, for those who have been following the sports landscape, we've got some major things that we're going to be covering in the NFL that are some of them being much more expansive than the realm of sports, and a lot more. So thanks for tuning in tonight. Looking forward to having y'all on and hearing what everybody's got to say. Join us in the comments on Facebook, YouTube, TMP, excuse me, and all other current channels if you want to drop a question, comment, or any sort of banter in the conversation. With that, going to pivot over and welcome my trusty co-host to my right, Mr. Robert Shalosi from the great PNW. How you doing, brother?
This is the dumbest 4 days of my year. This is dumb. Why do I do this to myself? This is dumb. And I'll explain why later, but this is dumb. I don't know why I do this every year. And this year I'm putting more emphasis on it than normal. I'm making it more dumb for myself. This is dumb. All right.
Yeah. I want to say, I also want to point out to everybody that not only did he have this whole soliloquy about himself with the NFL Combine and about watching the NFL Combine, but he also called me earlier today to watch the NFL Combine on the phone with him.
Exactly.
Thank God I was not part of that.
I damn near almost conference called you in, but I thought you were at work for some reason.
No. I thought you were busy or didn't want to see Men in Tights running, which is what I'm going to talk about.
No, I turned my late. I didn't watch the whole thing.
I also assumed he was busy because he was supposed to call me and help me play Madden earlier. But anyway.
I was just waiting on you. I got messed up today. That's what happens. It's just
all right. Well, love advertising all communication breakdowns on the show. But with that being said, my buddy, of course, Brandon Furtado. Brandon, how are you doing? And looking forward to hearing your thoughts tonight.
Yeah, I could have done better today in terms of all the mass communication hiccups. I don't know, just a weird day in general. Yeah, I wanted to play the Madden game earlier, but then I was like, you know what? I also want to, for some reason, because my grandmother wanted to start a puzzle that we were doing. So
what puzzle? Wait! You left out an important detail. What is the puzzle? Is it like
It's such an old picture of it's a puzzle of a painting that was made back in the 1800s.
I don't know why, but I can picture what this puzzle looks like.
Exactly.
It's a huge bowl of fruit.
Yep.
It's like a huge, yeah.
Yep.
So, but we were like, you know what? She was like, you want to start doing that? I'm like, yeah, sure. And I was like, because I figured that you were gonna text me, Scoop, and be like, hey, I'm on when you are. I didn't know that I was going to initiate. I mean, I probably should have because I was the one that said I would help.
No, it's all good. It happens, but. Important thing is we're all here. We're all going to have a good time, good conversation, a lot of great topics to cover. Some topics that I wouldn't use the word great to cover. I would say important to cover. We're going to be starting with that. And with that, if anybody doesn't have anything else to jump in with, I'll segue right into that because I think that's important. I think that's how we should lead off the show.
I'm gonna get my stuff ready because I have some things I want to showcase for this thing. So let me get those really quick while you introduce. I just wanted to let you know.
Okay. All right. So I'm good to introduce the topic though, at least.
Yeah. I'm just gonna find this thing really quick.
All right. So for those who either have or haven't been following the NFL landscape over the past week, frankly, one of the most horrific, tragic things that have happened that I can remember since I started following the NFL 17 years ago. 25-year-old wide receiver, formerly of the Minnesota Vikings, Rondale Moore, was found deceased in a garage, and it was later identified that he ended his own life. Trying to phrase this delicately for anyone who's watching, but there's no skirting around it. That's what happened, and it once again brought to light a bunch of topics about mental health among NFL players, current and former. A lot of public discourse about the ways that the NFL may or may not, in different ways, be, and the Players Association, the resources, and not only the resources, but the emphasis they put on actual practical implication, I guess, application rather. Because again, it's one thing to put 988 on commercials in one thing or another, but some things there's just different levels to which people think that they go, and there's clearly a lot of people affiliated with both the Players Association and the league who don't believe that there's a sufficient amount of effort done there, or at least that further can be gone. But of course, first and foremost, rest in peace to Rondale Moore. The fact that this is what he got to the point where he felt like this was his only way toward peace was just heartbreaking. Especially because this is, I believe, the 16th person I remember seeing in at the pro level who had this tragic situation over the past. I think it was since 2010. I think is what it said, and it's just absolutely. There's no words to it for me. I don't think there's words to it for anybody. The fact that that's what happens and how these players find as sort of the last option to them available for finding peace again that they have been unable to find in any other capacity. And rest in peace to him. I pray that he has found the peace that he could not find in this life. And I can't imagine what his family is going through. And when I say family, I mean that multiple ways: his nuclear and blood family, but also his brotherhood in the NFL, because we all hear them talk about how tight-knit that community is, both current and former players. And there have been people from not just current teammates, but people, Rob talked about or sent us earlier, the podcast that involved former Eagles offensive tackle King Dunlap, and a couple of other players. I'm going to be very honest. I'm at a loss for how to continue that, because there's so many things that can be said and none of it's ever going to be enough.
Do you want me to continue? Because I deal with this on a daily basis.
Please.
I think people misunderstand how bad this thing actually is, and it's a problem. I don't think enough people realize the stuff that you tell people who are suicidal is not how you should go about it at all. I am a person who deals with essentially chronic depression. It is awful. I take medication, like 10 milligrams of Lexapro every day. And every day, at least 1 second of a day, I'm thinking, I still want to kill myself. Every day. It doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter. I'd be like, even with this show, I'm like, if I wasn't here, it's fine. They could still figure it out. They don't need me here. And look, you could say, and I understand the whole piece of it of like, and I'll get to what PFT said because I thought it was interesting, but like that doesn't really work because it's just very internal, and it's hard because it's like, at least for me, and I don't know how it is for Rondale, but from the people that I've talked to in inpatient therapy and stuff like that, like what people have to realize is it's like, for someone like me, like I have this kind of innate understanding that thought is just never going to go away. Even if I don't want to act on it, it just won't. It's just life. I have to live with that thought, and I don't know when it's going to go away. Some people are like that, and that's hard, but that's just kind of the hard truth. And like the thing with Rondale is like, it's hard. And I've had moments with my parents where I just snap. I snap and I freak out and I don't know what to do. And I had a moment like that last week. It's like, but it's how far the snapping goes. You know, you could snap and it's over. You never know. And I just think, unfortunately, the messaging, and while I understand why the messaging exists the way it does in terms of like, hey, look at the people around you, look at whatever else, in my experience, it does nothing. Because really what it is it's within you to make to number one, it's within you to make that decision. You can have suicidal ideation, but it's within you to make that decision. And at some level, unfortunately, I respect the decision because at some level it can be too hard. And some days, even for me, it's too hard. And you're just like, okay, what the hell's going on? You know, but also in some ways it's just awful because you're so young, right? And Rondell is so young, and we're all here so young with so much life to live. But as a person, the thing that's difficult is you don't see that. You don't see beyond what you're doing right now. You don't see beyond this podcast. I don't see beyond it. And because you don't, and again, that's not a luxury we should have. It would be really weird to be like, oh, let me go into a portal and see the future. But I just feel like, and I respect some of the messaging and I respect what it tries to do. But at least in my experience, it's incredibly internal. And like, look, therapy can help for sure. Working out definitely helps. And like these things help. But I have lived, at least for me, and I don't know what it is for Rondell or other people that go through this. And I know it's tough to share, but like for me, honestly, the battle never ends. It's a daily thing of suicidal ideation, even if it's not strong. Because at this point with me, like it's only strong maybe once or twice a year. But it's there. It exists. It exists in the back of my mind. And I've always, again, this is my perspective. I can only share my perspective. I only know my perspective. But my perspective has always been, hey, look, I can only do so much. This is never going to go away. I have to learn to live with it. And the journey to be happy. And this also, it is a bigger picture thing of like, we live in this world where all we want to do is be happy, but we also at the same time tear each other down, whether it's social media, this, that, or the other. Mm-hmm. And that's something that pisses me off. It's like, okay, what the hell are we doing then? And
absolutely.
And again, like I understand where people are coming from. And I'll share some of the messaging that I found the last couple of days or the last few days with this.
Thank you.
But it doesn't work with everybody. It doesn't. You could look like the happiest person in the world, but really internally you're not. And unfortunately, it's not a bad thing to say these certain things of like, hey, look at how many people you're impacting, this, that, and the other. But what I've learned in my experience is that it's wildly internal. Because a lot of the thinking that you have, the suicidal ideation that you have, the depression that you have, it isn't really real. I think everybody that I'm around hates me in some capacity, doesn't like me at all, just keeps me around to keep me around. I think about that every day. And look, is that true? No, I don't believe it's true, but that's what my head thinks. Mm-hmm. And that's tough to deal with.
Right.
But, and I don't know what the right messaging is because I think it's different for every person. But for me, when it comes to this, it's like, I think we have to take it case by case, but we also have to change our messaging because this kind of messaging doesn't work for everybody. And I'll share like some of the really good messages that I saw or some of the big picture things that I saw. Because as someone who goes through this on a daily basis, I research it heavily and I understand how these things work and how they're kind of intertwined. But again, everyone's different. But that's kind of what I want to frame here is kind of what frustrates me when this stuff happens is we lose the sight of a person talking about the bigger picture because we lose the sight of who they are or who they were as a person, as unfortunately as that is. But we also lose the sight that the things that we say don't interject the bigger picture of what's going on in someone's mind. You can't know what's happening in someone's mind. And I think that's where the difficulty is with it. There's a balance to it that people don't really understand. And it's not anybody's fault, but it's just the things that we've been told. And I guess that's sort of my message about this is be careful, because even the stuff that you say of like, look at how much you matter, this, that, and the other, it doesn't, for me personally, it does nothing. It does nothing, because you have this thing of the world being better without you, and that sticks with you. That's hard to deal with. It doesn't go away just because, 130 people are impacted by me. There's 7.5 billion people in the world. You can go bigger picture. There's 7.5 billion people in the world. What's one less? And that's a hard thing. That's a thing that I've had to deal with. Some people have that thought. I know I'm not the only one. So it's difficult, but it is very internal. Suicide and suicidal ideation, to finish up my point, is incredibly internal. You never know what someone's going through, and it is an internal battle. And I think when we have these broader discussions, we lose sight of the internal battle and what someone is actually going through. And you don't have to tell them what they need to hear or want to hear, because everything is internal. And that's kind of my experience, or what I've learned through it, and how difficult it is for me on a daily basis. And I don't want people to sympathize or be like, you're important, blah, 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 blah. That doesn't matter to me, because to me at this point in my journey with this, it's wildly internal. It has nothing to do with anyone else around me. So I'm going to find this really quick. But while I'm finding it, Brandon, you can add to what I said or whatever. But I just kind of wanted to share that and be like, hey, number one, you're not alone from this, but two, be very cautious about how you approach people with this, because it's a very delicate situation.
You know, people don't realize it, but the crazy thing when you say to somebody, like, you know, oh, look how much you mean to this person, look how much you mean to this group of people, look how much you mean to the people around you, et cetera, et cetera. That sounds great on the surface, but the crazy thing is that it almost carries a slight negative connotation, because you're saying to that person, like, hey, like, why can't you see how much you mean to people? It's kind of almost you know, putting it in that direction. And so it can kind of, you know, at the end of the day make things worse, because it's like, you know, like nobody wants to hear, you know, especially like it's tough, because it is so internal that nobody kind of just wants to be pacified in a way, because it almost feels like you're speaking down to them, and that's kind of what that is,
right?
And it's like, you know, you can't, you know, it's like you know, when you pacify a baby might not stop crying, it might be hungry. Just because you're gonna pacify her doesn't mean it's gonna stop being hungry. So it's like, I mean, you know, it's not the greatest analogy, but like, you know, it's the same thing with topics like this. Like just by saying that to somebody could actually end up still just making them feel worse in some way, shape, or form. So it's really tough when you have to deal with those things. And just in Rondale Moore's case, it's also, you know, we're not too far removed from talking about this literally during the season with Marshawn Nealon.
Yeah.
So,
I basically said something very similar at that time. So,
you know, like we're not far removed from that. And there's this whole thing in society, and I'm not saying that one group matters more than another, but because we talk about mental health as a whole, but there's still that kind of stigma that men's mental health doesn't matter, and there's still that
I hate, yeah.
Like but there's still that, you still see it every day. Like I see people say all the time, like, you know, oh, you know, suck it up, you know, be a man, be tough, and it's like that. But for certain things, for like little things, that's, you know, yeah, you gotta toughen up to certain things. But stuff like that, you can't just say toughen up to. It doesn't work that way. It's not. That's not how it is.
Internal, bigger.
Yeah, like it's like, people don't want to feel that way. So it's like when you're telling them to toughen up, it's like it doesn't work that way. These are things that are literally out of your control. So it's like it's like telling somebody, it's like telling literally a penguin, a flightless bird, why can't you fly?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's like yeah, because it can't help that. It's not what what it does. It's the same thing in your head. When you're having those thoughts and you struggle with those things and you know that you do and you know it won't go away, like you hear these things all the time, people having like an extra voice in their head
Yeah.
because of it. And it's like people still don't understand what that means, because yeah, it's like just because 90% of people might not deal with that on a daily basis, it's like it doesn't mean it's not there. There's still a group of people that do deal with that. So, I wish people, would understand that. And I just see so many people that every time we talk about mental health, it becomes like this whole like there's just so many group of people like in a comment section, both men and women, saying, "Oh, just get over it. Oh, men's mental health doesn't matter." I'm like, you gotta stop. I'm like, because like you're seeing people who are literally our age taking their lives. We just had two in less than what
6
4
months.
months.
4 months.
4 months. Yeah.
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 So, like in a sport that we cover, so like but there's been plenty of others. I mean, we just saw the other day, and also that this has no age limit. This happens to anybody. Even the actor Robert Carradine, he just did the same thing. So that was what I think a few days ago, maybe about yeah, probably about 4 or 5 days ago. Um, so there's no age limit on this, and there's still so much we don't know about it. But
Right.
the thing is like you can't just tell somebody to get over it. You can't like, because telling somebody to get over it and being that aggressive is just as bad as telling somebody what they might want to hear by saying, "Oh, look at how many people you impact. How many people you positively impact." It's almost the same thing, just in a different way. Of two different sides of saying, I guess, is the way I could describe it.
Yeah.
So it's just like when it comes to that, like there's ways people can help, but it's like a lot of people, most people, still don't understand how to handle it. And it's
Right.
like that's the crazy thing, is like people shouldn't talk about things that they don't know. And that especially is one thing that that not a lot of people know about, and a lot of people talk about.
Right.
So it's sad that we have to kind of keep going through this. It feels like every few months,
Right.
but especially with like I said, it has no age limit, but especially with people this young who are literally younger than us, or around our age, because it's like and like I said during the Marshawn Nealon thing, life is so precious, and you don't know what people are going through. So no matter who you are, like it's just you got to realize, and this is just a general rule of thumb. This isn't related to anything suicidal, but this is just a general rule of thumb. Just people need to understand: treat people how you want to be treated. Like, just
And by the way, that's hard, because the problem with
yeah,
the thing with that is, and this is it, I would recommend for anyone, BoJack Horseman. There's an episode, I have to find the episode, but there's an episode where he's talking about his mother dying, and the episode is basically talking about, and this has been my biggest struggle ever since I watched the episode. The biggest struggle with being a human at its core in our current society is being good and being a good person every day. And that's fucking hard. That is hard. And I'm a perfectionist. If I make one tiny mistake, I'm out. I'm done. I'm done. Like, so, and so that's really tough. Do you mind if I play this clip, Brandon? Because I have something,
no, yeah.
piece of advice
I
I
was
want to give.
basically getting towards the end. Yeah.
I have a piece of advice I want to give based off this clip a little bit. So here's Mike Florio and Chris Sims on PFT earlier this week. And Mike said something really interesting about a 60-minute segment that I wanted to play.
I would think one of the reasons that would result in a permanent solution to what may be a very temporary problem is, well, nobody's going to miss me. I don't mean anything. No one, I'm just going to be gone and the world's going to keep going. There was a feature on 60 Minutes last November about the very serious problem of suicides among farmers, because the family farms that have been passed down from generation to generation are financially collapsing. And it's like a huge issue.
Yeah.
It's a huge problem that these farmers find themselves, and this is their identity, this is their lives, this is their livelihood, and now they have nothing and there's nothing else they can do. One of the people they interviewed said that each suicide affects 130 people. And I think, and to me, that was jarring. But when you think about how many lives yours touches and how many lives you touch and how many people affect you, I feel like if that number was amplified, I think that would be a factor for some people who believe that I mean nothing and the world won't miss me. 130, and that's just the average person. It's a lot more than 130 that are affected by Rondell Moore, and I just wonder whether or not he had any inkling. And could that just be the thing that tips it in the direction of I'm going to keep fighting?
So, like, that's my thing with this, and that was jarring to me when I heard that. But I also say to people all the time who experience this, you know what my biggest problem was when I was really suicidal, really bad? I stopped watching sports. I stopped watching everything minus football for like 2 years because I couldn't do it. I didn't have energy to do it. And it's like just, and look, stay busy to an extent. There is a level where you have burnout and blah, 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 blah. And part of it too for me was burnout because I was going through school and stuff like that, which is a problem with schools currently. I think the tendency to get people to burn out in high school or college is really high. And there's a lot of emotional turmoil with that. So that's a big problem. But like once I started taking my medication, I was like and I was telling my parents this and a lot of my friends at the time when I started taking medication was, oh my God, I'm finally watching the NBA playoffs again. Like it's something so simple, but it's like, you can't lose sight of that, even if it's hard, even if your brain is like the last couple years, I think, I would say 3 years were the first years where I genuinely was like, all right, there's football on and that's all I care about. My head was thinking 6, 8, 12 months ahead and it couldn't focus. I did that for years. And by the way, like that's the one thing too, is you learn to live with that pain. I was telling you guys, I had a panic attack weeks ago, and I had like 4 panic attacks in a week for like 2 years. And you learn to live with that pain because you don't know anything else. I thought it was normal, which is nuts, but I genuinely thought that was normal. That happens in everyone's head, even though it isn't. So there's a lot of nuance to it. It's awful. I understand that it's awful, but I think the problem that we have with talking about suicide in general is we don't understand the nuance, because there are people who go through it and think they're alone and don't say anything. But that's my biggest issue with this. It's like we're losing the nuance of this is a really difficult issue to pin down. It's not just talk to somebody, talk to a therapist, and you get better like this. It takes processing. It takes time. And we're losing sight of that. And I think because we're losing sight of that, that's also why we're losing so many people, because we're not saying the right things. We're not doing the right things to help people that are in these positions. And again, a lot of people who are in these positions, you don't even know. You don't even know. And that's also scary as well. So that's kind of everything I wanted to say on it. I know it's kind of long-winded, but that was kind of everything I had. It was like, here's my experience. Here's what I think people are getting wrong with it. And so that's my approach to it. And I talk about it very openly because to me, it's normal. Unfortunately, it's just a normal fact of life that someone right now, as we're doing this show, has passed away due to suicide. And to me, the normalcy of that hurts, but unfortunately, it is a reality. And it pisses me off to no end, but it's a reality. But that's what I have. I don't know how you guys want to move on from that, but
Well, what I will say is, first off, I wanted to say thank you, Rob, for
Mhm.
taking the time that you did for sharing what was not only important to you, but shedding some light on on that experience and some information that is important, and a perspective that I think sometimes doesn't get enough. Like you said, a lot of people want to save the information, but there's not as a lot of people are trying to talk, and not as many people are perhaps being listening as well as they could be. So thank you again, and I know that far more than just the two of us appreciate the time that you've taken. So thank you
yeah.
again.
So I'm not going to do this on Saturday again. So
I
no way.
No, but if you're comfortable, I will segue us forward.
Oh, absolutely. If you guys are, let's move forward. But I figured those things need to be said, and I feel like not a lot of people are saying it.
I absolutely agree with you, and I'm grateful that you were the one to say it. I think that was very meaningful.
Thank you.
And I hope that those who are listening were able to take something from that. Moving forward, because I do know that, as you mentioned during that, one of the things that can be one of the things that mean the most to you is sports. So I think that's probably the best thing to pivot back to right now. Is getting the chance to talk about that. And with that, I will get to some of the comments. I want people to just be aware that I have been getting the comments and seeing the comments. I just, out of respect for that topic, wanted to give that its time to breathe. But I will be addressing all comments now. First up, Josh from BTCA says, "Ayo, Josh, if you're still here,
baby.
good to see you." Kurt says, "What's up, boys?" And then he asks probably the most confusing question we've ever gotten. Scoops, when are you going to invite me as a guest? I think I've done that about 100 times. If you're around in the next couple of weeks, Kurt, just message, reach, we'll connect, and we want to have you on as soon as possible. We've been trying to do that for a while, and hope we can make it work scheduling wise. I want to jump on with you guys. I want like a rapid fire segment from you guys. We're the two of us are both Italian. I don't think we can speak at any level other than rapid fire. And I can definitely get fired up on this show with you guys. Let's go. Trust me, we don't need any convincing of that fact. Nick says, "I love Luigi." Says women down 21 in the third. I'm assuming he's talking about the shoe women, and that's just brutal. With Bill Hathaway, Christina Romano Palmerson. For the first time, I'll say that name. Christina Romano is a big time supporter of this show, and just absolutely awesome person. Shout out to her, and congratulations to her on her recent wedding to Michael Palmerson. Congratulations to them. And then Bobby Blackjack Grunts. Blackjack, thanks for tuning in. And Jody Moncrief says, "What's up, Boyd?" Which I presume meant boys. Aaron Boone needs fire.
Boys, yeah, he fixed it.
What?
Why are we talking about Aaron Boone being fired at spring training? Relax.
I have absolutely no
Jody.
clue where that. Excuse me?
It's
That's
Jody.
Jody, yeah,
It's
that's
Jody. Yeah.
I know. I don't know why I let myself get randomly instigated by this type of thing, but I do. But that's part of the fun of the show, right? But yeah, I don't understand that at all. But speaking of which, as long as we're talking about coaches and whatnot, what do you say we get into some of those leaks today from the Players Association?
Can I say something really quick?
That's the point of the show, bro.
This is the funniest thing the NFL has ever done. It's not even close. This is hilarious. The owners,
wanted to fire up the show. Yeah, that sounds about right. He did the same thing last week with Jason freaking Dominguez.
The owners.
I'll admire the commit to the bid. I do admire it very much.
Okay, are you guys
Yeah.
ready?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so this is the funniest thing the NFL has ever done. It's not even close. This is great. This is awesome. This is hilarious. I think my head is blowing up like an air. Like what is the Airheads? Like, that's how I feel about these.
I have no
report
clue what
cards.
you're talking about
Yeah,
right now.
but
Airheads to me
I
is a
remember
pretty candy.
When I have Airheads, I puke, so I can't have Airheads. I don't know why, but basically, this entire thing is so funny because this was run by like 3 owners: the Jets owner, just the Jimmy, like your owner, Scoop of the Cleveland
Yeah,
Browns.
that right there is just making me want to die laughing.
First of all, if you're going to associate me with the Cleveland Browns, that's fine. Jimmy Haslam is the last part of that team I need to be associated with.
I understand.
God.
I apologize. Hi, Nicole. Welcome to the show.
Hi,
no,
Nikki
but
says, hi, Scoop, Brandon and Rob. Hi, Nikki. How you doing?
what's
Nikki.
up? So here's the deal. So it was basically done by them to file this lawsuit, which, by the way, it's a 2-parter. So one is they won the lawsuit, but they also lost the lawsuit.
Right.
One is it does violate the CBA that this is public information, because the CBA states that the NFL and the NFLPA every 3 years is supposed to file a in-depth report card, but they haven't. But the NFL doesn't want to do that, so the NFLPA just does it themselves. So it's the NFL's fault that it hasn't been filed. But again, in the court of law, that's what's in the CBA. That's what it is.
Right.
But they also lost because they wanted the report cards removed entirely. That didn't happen. It was supposed to be privatized, and immediately I went, well, this is going to get leaked. And it's funny because you know who leaked it was ESPN, and ESPN just merged with the NFL and has a 10% stake in the NFL. So the fact that ESPN leaked this, is hilarious because Roger Goodell is probably, or whoever's running this, is probably calling Jimmy Haslam is probably calling Roger Goodell to yell at ESPN right now for the last 2 hours.
I'm not sure Jimmy Haslam has a phone, considering what I've seen the last few years. But
yeah. So basically, the context of this is funny because they won/lost the lawsuit. We knew it was going to get leaked. Whoever leaked it, I privately kind of want to know who leaked it, because it's probably like, I think it'd be funny if it's some actual superstar player who leaked it, because then I think it adds another layer. But I imagine it's some like low-level PA something. I have no idea. But it is funny that...
Well, the question would be who would benefit from this being out is the question, because that's a pretty easy...
The players.
Yeah.
The players benefit greatly because, guess, Houston, new practice facility. Why? The report cards. Arizona, new practice facility. Why? The report cards. Buffalo, new stadium. Partially why? The report cards. I'm trying to think. Who else? Denver, new practice facility, new locker room, I think. Why? The report cards. So am I
misremembering, or was the Commanders under that umbrella too?
The Commanders, it was mostly new ownership, but it was partially that as well. And they have great ratings here too. But again, the thing with the report cards, that is, the whole thing is funny, but also I think it's just valuable information for people to know. And the fact that you want to get rid of it just because you're upset that you want to spend more money when you make billions of dollars is genuinely hilarious. Which
is showing the reason why these things exist in the first place, by the way.
Exactly, which is showing why these are important. Okay, so report card stuff. Who was the Steelers were the worst, right? Here?
Steelers were the worst, and Cleveland. Why did I say Cleveland? What in the hell? Miami was the best.
Miami was the best. They have improved their locker rooms. What's the funny? I don't remember.
What were they ownership? The fact that Stephen Ross got an A makes me think that Stephen Ross was the one who leaked these.
That's why I'm shocked that Miami was the best one.
It might have been a Miami player. Vegas makes sense. It's Vegas. They upgraded their stuff.
The Rams have like a top level as well, and they were pretty mid.
Well, the food and dining area for the Rams is terrible.
Apparently, their locker room sucks too. They got a
Their
D
locker
rating.
room is pretty small. Miami, it kind of makes sense because it's Miami and they kind of have to upgrade everything. Obviously,
Everything about
Minnesota,
Miami I can understand except for team ownership.
because team ownership. Well, team ownership in this framing isn't directly based on. How do I put this? It's not
Not
directly
just the
based.
principal owner.
Well, no, it's not just that. It's the fact of how many players communicate with the owner. Do you know that Stephen Ross? Nikki, I'll get to this really quick. I love this. I love that you asked this question because I've been on this for about 2 years now. I apologize, Scoop. I'm an NFL junkie. This is what I do. I follow this thing like it's my job because it is.
Why are you apologizing? That's what we're on the show for.
I know, but I feel like I'm taking it over. Let me see. So where was I at? So the thing is, Stephen Ross lives in New York, so nobody talks to him. So it's kind of just based off. It's kind of just based off what the locker room is. Home game day field is funny because a lot of it is based on like how many fans are in the stands and whatever. The Giants getting a home game field of F-. Brandon probably loves that.
Because that's not just the this past year thing. That's been the thing with the Giants pretty much for the last 15 years, where it's like I've been to plenty of Eagles Giants games, especially in the mid 2010s, and everybody was dead silent. You could hear a pin drop in there. I mean, that's because we were kicking their ass, probably, but still,
Yeah.
But regardless, like it had a very corporate feel, very cold.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like a home game. So yeah, it's.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's kind of was the Giants' modus operandi for a good period of time. Was that very
Did
corporate?
you just say operandi? What the hell is going on? Are you a cartoon? What? Who says
modus operandi? Modus operandi.
What is that? Is that a thing that I don't know?
MO is like a mode of operation, I guess. It's
I didn't know that exists.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Like they're calling card, their standard.
okay.
Yeah.
The biggest thing about
here.
so really quick, the biggest thing about the report cards that I want to focus on is the treatment of families section. This is really bad across the board. And by the way, a lot of this is childcare based.
I assumed,
childcare. But also just a lot of teams do like Thursdays with families stuff. Some teams have started doing that. Treatment of families is bad across the league. This is an issue that isn't talked about enough. And then I also wanted to ask both of you if you are shocked by your locker room being a D and your excuse me, what is it? And your team travel being an F, because it makes sense to me a little bit.
It's Philadelphia. Nothing. Philadelphia is in some ways like the best in the world at some things, but they've always had. But it's also I also realize it's Philadelphia. Philadelphia as a city is not great. We know that, so it doesn't surprise me that it's like up and down.
Well, and I'll also add to that. I mean, the travel itself, I didn't really know much about it, so I can't really say what was surprising to me or wasn't about that.
The plane is bad. The plane is bad. That's the biggest issue. The plane is bad.
That's just an area in which I'm not particularly well-founded. The locker room surprised me to an extent, but again, that's somewhat from personal bias. I've been in the locker room and I didn't see.
Yeah,
and what'd you say?
We've always, and the thing is, like, every year, it feels like when it comes to the locker room, like the Eagles social media team is always showing us the locker room.
Yeah, so
it's small. It's small, isn't it, compared to other locker rooms in the NFL?
Not really. My guess is that there's probably things that is kind of hard to see from footage. Like maybe there's things that aren't great, like with like the foundation or like different elements of like how the condition of the lockers themselves. My guess is that it's something that is more fundamental to it that doesn't really show up on the more superficial level of the photography. And real quick, Nicole says, "What was Dallas report card out of curiosity?" All right,
Dallas was funny. Dallas was hilarious.
Yeah,
Dallas. Go, Scoop. Go for it.
So Dallas, I'm going to try and do this quickly because there's like 30 categories. But Dallas, treatment of families B, home game field C, which is hilarious for how expensive that stadium is. Food and dining area B, nutritionist and dietitian B+, locker room B+, training room D, training staff C, weight room A-, strength coaches A-, position coaches B, O coordinator A, defensive coordinator C. I'm surprised it was that high. Special teams coordinator B+, team travel C, head coach A-, general manager B, team ownership B. Since they're the same person, if those two ratings were different, I would have been very confused.
Well, it is two people because the GM is technically Steven, not Jerry. Steven does a lot of the they're the same essentially, but yes.
So that's everything there. Also, you were talking about the treatment of families. I just want to note real quickly, the only two teams that got a grade of A- or better in that category were the Minnesota Vikings and the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, because they actually do team events with families.
Okay. Well, I will also note just really quick, in a different sport, in Major League Baseball, for example, there are organizations like the New York Mets under Steve Cohen who have really put an emphasis, like publicly have put an emphasis on family experience and things of that nature. So I do wonder if there's something to be taken from organizations and ownerships like that on making that a little bit more of a point of emphasis henceforth. But again,
the issue, I apologize, Scoop. The issue with that is the fact that they're like, we want to be good to families. And then you look at this.
Well, when I say public, when I say publicly, I don't mean just, obviously like grandstanding and whatnot. I mean actually something that you can actually show, hey, this is what we're doing.
Exactly. And that's been my biggest problem. So the NFL FCC thing is wild. It's not exactly an FCC thing. It is a little bit, but it's not. It's the Sunday ticket package. That's probably the biggest thing going on. The Sunday ticket package is basically, oh my God, Scooby-Doo lawyer, help me here, help me. What is it called? It's called not non-compete. What is it?
I don't know what you're going for here.
What is the anti-consumer thing or antitrust law? Damn it.
Okay, I was really confused where you were going.
Yeah. So basically, the Sunday ticket thing is a violation of antitrust law because you have to buy the whole package. You can't buy for a specific team. And something really interesting that came out of and again, we'll see I think the hearing is in March. It's the second week of March, the main hearing. The interesting thing that I've been kind of clamoring for the NFL to do that they recommended, which I find fast. I'll have cable. So Fox and CBS are the primary providers, right? So, okay. So let's say you live in, let's say you live in Philly, right? Okay. So you live in Philly. Fox is going to have the Philly game. FS1 is going to have the Giants game. ESPN is going to have the Jets game. And so on and so forth. And it's basically what college football does. And you can still have Red Zone. You can still have all of that. I really like that model. And I understand that Fox and CBS love their exclusivity of it. But it's still very local. So I find that intriguing in terms of what that could look like. But also I think the future of the Sunday ticket package in terms of, hey, this actually shouldn't cost as much as it does, especially under the YouTube umbrella, which it costs a ton under the YouTube umbrella, I think DirecTV was a little bit more, but I don't have the numbers in front of me. Essentially, what I think is going to happen is that they're going to make it a team-based thing, and then it's eventually going to build to. So how it's going to build is Netflix. Netflix is going to buy the package. Essentially, what I've heard is that Netflix or another streamer is going. This is the idea. Let's throw in Netflix. Netflix is essentially going to buy the Sunday package, the early and late window. If you have Netflix, you can watch any game and Red Zone at any time. And then they're going to sell the local rights to a Fox, a CBS, etc. So like if you live in Philly, you'll get Philly broadcast on your local Fox station without having to buy Netflix. But if you want everything else, you need Netflix. Which I think is kind of an interesting model because that's kind of what DAZN is doing internationally. DAZN, you buy DAZN in like Europe, you buy DAZN, you get everything. And Nicole said, pretty lucky.
For people who may not know, can you explain what DAZN is?
DAZN is another streaming service. They primarily do boxing here, but they are the international provider for the NFL. They do NFL game and NFL Game Pass internationally, or NFL Plus, but it's Game Pass internationally. You know how you can only watch live and local games on your phone? Well, you can watch it whenever you want internationally with DAZN. So it's a much better package. And as Nicole said, pretty lucky watching all the Cowboys games either on cable or on Prime. And yeah, that's part of what I think is the NFL has done a good job of, is local television gets a lot of priority.
Yeah.
The average price to watch the entire season was $1,500. Yeah, it was expensive this year. That's exactly what it was. It was so expensive this year because.
Or you could be like me, just cut cable. I still get the games. I get them for free.
Yeah, exactly.
You sound like an ad right now.
Yeah, we find ways. Again, I'm just gonna say this: we find ways, one way or another. I'm not gonna specify how we do it, but we find ways. Anyway, so
the show's now gonna get cut.
No, it's fine. This is normal. Other people have talked about it. Anyway, what Nikki is saying is Sunday Ticket, Netflix, Peacock, Paramount Plus, Fox One, NFL Plus for NFL. So that's about 1,000 as a whole. But yeah, so the NFL is fastly approaching to fixing the new deal, because I think we're about 3 years from the Fox deal having to be redone, and about maybe 5 years for the NBC deal to be done. So it's a very interesting situation. It will evolve. The NFL Sunday Ticket trial is not getting enough attention, so keep an eye on it. It's fascinating. The plaintiffs are fascinating because they're just a group of people from a specific area. Your dad was Sunday Ticket was a big revolution for people because, like, oh my god, I can watch all the games. It was huge, and I think it was 97 that it first came out, and then Red Zone was 2009. So it's been around for a long time.
Oh wow, wow.
Yeah. So it's been around for a long time. But yeah, it just needs an evolution, and Sunday Ticket will be that evolution. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on just how that's going to work. But that's everything that I'm hearing. That's everything that I have seen. Being a Dallas fan in New Jersey, yeah, that helped. Well, here's the thing, Nikki, you're on national TV way too much anyway, so you're probably fine.
That was exactly as soon as you finished. That's what I was going to say. I was like, Dallas is the last team we need to be hearing from in this category.
See, it's funny. That's funny that she says that. Especially she says especially in a New York sports market, we live an hour and a half from Philadelphia, and half our games for some reason are not on TV. I don't know why.
Because wait, can you guys hear me? I'm sorry, I unplugged my mic. Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear.
Good.
Loud and clear.
So the reason why is because you have two teams in one market.
Right.
You have the Giants and the Jets, and they get priority over.
They both
suck.
Yeah.
And they both. And the thing, but the worst part is I wouldn't mind if one or both teams were good, and I had to find the Eagles or just somehow another way. But what pisses me off is, and this is what I wish they would do, is if it's like Giants Browns, if you have a choice to show Giants Browns in this area in like week 15, or Eagles Packers. Put the damn Eagles
and Browns fans. Giants and Browns fans don't care about Giants Browns.
You can't, because it's law. It's an antitrust violation.
I don't care. Break it. Laws are meant to be broken. I advocate for lawlessness.
By the way, this is also why the
Philly fan right there.
By the way, this is also why the NFL can't play on Saturdays. It's an antitrust violation. It's literally written in Congress.
Stupid. I hate this. I don't care.
Let's see what else can I say about this that's interesting.
But I'm also not alone in saying that Giants Browns sucks compared to Eagles.
Well, okay, wait. I have a solution.
There are Giants and Browns fans who would rather watch Eagles Packers.
Honestly, my simple solution, and again, I don't know how expensive Red Zone's going to be. I don't know how Red Zone's going to look under the ESPN banner next year.
God help me.
I'm very curious how that's going to look. I know Scott Hansen's coming back, so that's good. I have no idea how it's going to look.
That's like the 19th time I've heard his name this week.
Yeah, because we're playing Madden and he's not showing your games in our weekly recap, or mine, or Brandon.
When did you become so cocky? Just keep going.
No, I'm not being cocky. He hasn't shown my games either, or Brandon's, or Shane's in certain weeks, and it pisses me off.
He's shown me basically every week.
He doesn't show my games every week. Anyway, it's not his fault. It's EA's coding. It's not his fault. But basically, my whole thing is just buy Red Zone. Red Zone's $50 with your cable, bro. It's $50. It's not that expensive. Just buy Red Zone, and you watch every game. It's not that hard. I don't understand, and I get it. People don't like it because of the commercials. It is the best way to watch football, bar none. Just do it. Just do it. You don't have to worry about what's in your local area. You don't have to think about it. You can watch football. You can watch good football, including bad football. You can watch it all and have a good time. Why is this so hard?
Well, I think
Yeah, back up. Did you just, let me just make sure I heard this correct. Good football, including bad football.
Yes, exactly. Because they don't show bad football. They only show 2 minutes of bad football, and that's the day. Every game that's bad, they barely show it.
That's also why it's like with Red Zone. It's like you kept saying on the phone, I'm not getting any of your Eagles games. Yeah, because 3-0
Exactly.
at halftime.
That's why Red Zone is great, because if a game is 3-0 and nothing's happening in it, then I don't have to talk about it on the show on Sunday. Because
Not every
Well,
nothing game is a bad game, though. Sometimes it's just two good defenses.
true, but
Yeah.
Red Zone's about touchdowns. If a game's about defense,
Well,
the game's about defense.
Like, to me, if you're
I
the
care about
casual
defense.
fan, Red Zone if you're the casual fan, Red Zone makes sense. Like if you're like a diehard, like we all are for you, you watch every game, right?
Well, no,
But,
here's the thing.
Right,
Here's how I watch every game. I watch Red Zone because I can't pay attention to 9 games on 9 screens. It's not possible.
see, like it's like for me, it's like I will pay attention to one game at a time because I don't care about watching the crap teams. So it's like if there's 4 games on my local area and it's like, Eagles, Giants, Cowboys, and like, Buccaneers or something like that, like, let's say, and those games are all, good games, I'll just flip back and forth like the old school way of doing it. Just flip back and forth between the games and watch whatever you
Well,
want
keep
to watch.
in mind, I trust that you guys know about the NFL like it's the back of your hand, because that's what your job is in our show. But for me as the moderator, I have to figure out talk about. So I have to watch the bad teams, because if a bad game is somewhat interesting, or a good example is the Tank Bowl that happened between the Giants and the Raiders.
I was just gonna say that the toilet bowl or whatever we
And
call it.
you were one of the few people that was advocating all year, because if you didn't watch Titans football, for DK to be a Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I was advocating for him to be an All-Pro because I was actually
All-Pro.
watching him play.
Yeah.
And again, I'm also kind of an addict. I like watching bad teams because there's certain players that are interesting, and who knows when they go into free agency and things like that. And that's part of why watching the combine is kind of fun, but also
Justin Jefferson on the Vikings, get him out of there. He doesn't deserve this.
But again, my role as the moderator is very different. I need to know what's happening in Florida as much as it's happening in Seattle. That's my job. I have to do that. So it's a little different. But again, I kind of went too long on this, but still, I do find it interesting. Just pay attention to the trial. It's very fascinating. It's going to change how you watch the NFL in the next 5 years.
I was gonna say, do we want to stick on football while we're still watching Men in Tights?
Yeah, okay.
Rob?
Go Scoop. I wanted to yell about Men in Tights.
I don't even remember what I was gonna say, so just go ahead.
I want to yell about Men in Tights. Why do we do this? Why do we do this? Why is this necessary? This is dumb.
This is why we hear jokes from women saying, "Oh, you guys must, swing the other way because you're watching Men in Tights compete athletically." It's like, no, it's just there's something like just inherently fascinating about watching guys who are 6'4" plus running less than 5-second 40s.
Well, here's what's crazy to me. While I'm watching the 40, this happened this year. This happened whenever I last watched the 40. I don't remember if it was last year or a couple of years before that. For whatever reason, these guys, and I don't know if it's my perception of time. What is happening? I don't know if it's my perception of time. I don't know if it's my processing. I don't know what it is. But for whatever reason, these guys never look like they're running as fast as they can.
Oh yeah.
Because game speed is faster than 40-yard dash speed. People got to realize this. And some guys are
because you're not running in a straight line.
Jacob Rodriguez was really slow today. What did I say? He's faster in game speed. He's wildly faster. What are we doing here? You know what I mean? And that's
That-
part
that
of
was-
why I don't
that
like
was
it.
really
I
cool.
like it because I get to know who these players are, but I don't like it because these drills are stupid. I'm just watching men in tights run for 5 hours. This is dumb.
I mean,
This is dumb idea.
I told y'all when it comes to the draft itself, the combine and even what the hell do they call it?
The pro day, yeah.
Pro day. And
Pro-
even those, they impact very little the amount what I actually think about a prospect. My opinion of what I think about a prospect at the CFP is 98% going to be what I think of him when round 1 comes out.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
It's
Josh said it's aerodynamic. Josh, I have a question for you. Put your wife in front of NFL Network for 5 minutes and see what her thought process is on us watching this.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Do
that.
that and ask her, what do you think about people who watch this? Just put her in front of the TV for 5 minutes. Because every woman that I've talked to, and I'm like, basically, I watched Men in Tights run for 3 days or 4 days. They're always weirded out by it. But
that's what I'm saying. Because the amount of comments I see from women saying like, "Oh, are you guys like, do you swing the other way?" It's like, no, this is just sports. Why do you think this about us?
Well, okay, wait.
I feel like I'm. Go ahead.
What's weirder? Let me ask this question.
God.
And Josh here is an MMA fan, so and Brandon, you know this as well. What's weirder, the NFL Combine? Okay, let's put 3 things in here. What's weirder, the NFL Combine, watching a weigh-in where guys just stand at each other and look at each other like this, and we're all like, "Woo!" Or the 2-hour State of the Union where it's a bunch of 70-year-olds saying hi to each other for 2 hours. What's weirder? They're all weird. They're all dumb.
They're all
dumb.
They're all so
They're
weird.
all dumb. They're all dumb. Exactly. They're all stupid.
Oh my god!
I'll be honest. The State of the Union is more entertaining than this. I'm being honest. It is.
Like,
I disagree, but go on.
We have a 6'3.5" dude here, Texas
Lee
Tech,
Hunter, who's amazing.
He's 318 pounds. Watch how fat. Like normal people cannot run like this. Look at this.
He ran a 1-8-2 split. A 1-8-2 split is pretty nasty.
Like, even though 5.25 is slow for a D lineman, that is still incredible for 99% of people in America. Like, that's like this is ridiculous. Like, look, the fastest D lineman ran a 4.76. Who the hell at that size runs a 4.76? Who? Like, this is why we find it fascinating, because it's physical specimens performing at a high level. And listen, I don't care. The guy looks like he could eat 30 cheeseburgers and then do 30 reps on a bench press immediately, not throw it up, and then run a 40-yard dash.
Okay,
seconds.
Question. What's your fastest 40-yard dash time?
I ran 2 in high school. And the first one, the second one I tripped, so I don't even know what the accurate time is when you combine it. But mine was like something like I just remember I was what, 17 years old, around there, 18. And so I should be in really good shape, but no, this is somebody who hasn't played football a day in their life, outside of backyard football with friends. But and like I always said, baseball was my sport, not football, even though I love football to death.
Yeah.
But dude, like my 40 was like 6 something.
My 40 last time I checked, I think is a flat 6 or a 6.10. Yeah. Something. Yeah. I'm really
like also, I have a ton of weight on me. And I'm also not over 6
You have a ton of weight on you. These guys are 300 pounds running a 1.7 split.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But it's like they're also like, how long they train to be able to do stuff like this. Like, I've never trained a day in my life. That's a difference. If I train a day in my life, I could run by a 4.8 or something like that. But that's it. Like, I could knock off a second, off my time. But at the same time, I'm not training to be a pro athlete. I'm not sitting there doing box jumps and I need to show off like a 45-inch vert.
Yeah, what's your
Like-
leap? Is your leap bad?
Oh my god, my leap sucks. Like I was.
By the way, I'm
this is what I
not
love.
disparaging you. My leap is also crap. So I'm just,
Yeah, but it's like,
Mine's probably worse than
but
both.
I love baseball because you don't have to really leap in baseball. So baseball is mostly feet on the ground and do your job. That's why I was good at baseball. So like because I can't run to save my life, and anybody that knows me knows that. Like I'm just not. My legs move in front of my body. They don't
What?
propel me forward.
Are you Zion? Am I gonna have to teach you how to run again? Because you don't run like that.
I mean, like.
I am
No,
biting my
but-
tongue so hard when I hear running and Zion and all this stuff. There's like a million jokes I could make right now.
But the thing is like
I
when it
got
comes to
scooped.
running,
Yes.
like I it's funny. I walk really fast.
Can't relate.
I can't run. I can't run fast. But like when I'm in the mall with a bunch of people, I'm like zigzagging in and out of traffic like I'm on the freaking highway doing one.
Do you guys
Like-
want me to play what I'm gonna do tomorrow? Just not to piss anybody off.
Oh, you talk about your CrossFit.
My cross. Do you guys want to hear the amount of crap I have to do tomorrow, just for comparison?
I mean, you've already sent it to me, but yeah.
Brandon, you haven't seen this yet, right? Oh, and by the way, I'm gonna claim this right now because this is not copyright infringement because we're commenting on it. This is a thing. Anyway, just saying that. Okay. Again, it is scaled, by the way. So I'm gonna do kind of half or something. So here's our CrossFit Open. Now you could just hear it and you'll be disgusted. What I'm doing tomorrow. Hold on, here we go.
CrossFit Games Open Workout 26.1 is for time. 20 wall ball shots.
Throw the wall ball up at a wall. 20 of them.
18 box jump overs.
Oh my god.
30 wall ball shots. 18 box jump overs. 40 wall ball shots.
It gets worse.
18 medicine ball step overs.
18 medicine ball step overs.
18 box jump overs. 40 wall ball shots.
I went back a bit.
18 medicine ball step overs.
So there's the medicine ball step overs. 18 of them.
66 wall ball shots. 18 medicine ball step overs. 40 wall ball shots. 18 box jump overs. 30 wall ball shots. 18 box jump overs. And finally, 20 wall ball shots.
Are you ready for? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for how? Are you ready for how many times you? Are you ready to complete the set? Do you know how long? Excuse me. For a standard CrossFit athlete, do you know how long you have to complete all of that? Make a guess.
So, like,
How long?
you said like 27 minutes, right? 27 minutes.
That's for me.
Oh,
For someone who actually does this.
Oh, so I would say like 10.
12 minutes
Oh.
to do all of that.
Oh.
I think it's 12 to
No
15.
way.
I think something like that.
Oh, I love Josh's comment. Sounds like global.
It is
gym.
basically
that's
global
hilarious.
gym.
It kinda
I have no
does.
clue what that even. I have no clue what that is.
Oh, we have to make you watch Dodgeball.
Wait. Back up. Like Dodgeball, the movie.
Yeah, that's from
I've-
Dodgeball.
I've
movie.
I've seen that.
Okay, yeah, global.
Yeah,
gym.
that's the gym. That's
Oh,
the
okay.
gym that Ben Stiller runs.
They got to
Yeah,
make you
So-
do that.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. So you have 12 minutes to do that?
Yeah, to do all of it.
In general. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
You know what's funny though? I don't know if it's gonna be exactly 12 minutes at my place that I do it, but people do it. I've seen people do that in 9 minutes. That exact workout in 9 minutes.
Well, because CrossFit is like for the mentally insane. because you have to be an absolute freak of nature to want to push yourself to do that. because it's not normal workouts.
No, it's not.
It's like you're training to be an Olympian times 10.
Well,
Like-
here's the thing with CrossFit though. It is scaled so that we can do it. Like I can do it. Like, you know, I have my physical disabilities with CP. It is scaled. But the entire idea of CrossFit is, even if it's scaled, your entire goal is to push your body to the point where you're almost about to puke. That is the goal of this.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's the actual goal. I've almost puked multiple times doing this. And
Oh gosh.
I'll take on Saturday, come back here and watch us do the show on Saturday. My arm will not, I'll only be able to do this. I won't be able to move my arm past my head. I'll show you on Saturday. My body will be in so much pain. The only thing that will work is this part of my head. My whole face will work. Everything else will be dead on Saturday. Everything. It'll be amazing. So, yeah, just for comparison. So think about, I'm doing that scaled compared to these guys being professional athletes running like crazy. So there you go. There's your comparison for the week.
I have no idea what to say after that.
Wait.
What?
Scoop, can we do my WC bracket challenge game? Can we make our WBC picks?
Yeah.
Because I haven't done it yet, and I want to do it. Did you all get the bracket I sent?
Yes, I did.
I don't think so. I don't think I did.
I'll send it to you right now, Brandon. Hold on. Because make sure you're logged into your MLB.com account too, so it saves. But I figured it'd be fun. I figured it'd be fun for us to do this on the show, just to have people play along with us. But I'll send this out. I'll send this to you, Brandon. And then if you don't mind, Scoop, I'll share my screen so you guys can see it.
Go for it. That's because I was curious how you wanted to do this.
Because I feel like if we do it that way, people can actually see what we're doing. So,
Right.
Or at least what I'm doing, and we can kind of go through each of them. Let me see. Josh wants it. I got you, Josh. Hold on. I'll get you in a moment. Because yeah. So let me see if I can get this to Josh really quick. I probably can before we do this. This is not good podcasting. This is bad.
No, it's not.
This is not good. Wait, Brandon, can you send that directly to Josh? Because I can't at the moment.
What? Just share.
Yeah,
the link
share
to
the
him?
link. All right, I'm gonna share my screen right
Yeah,
now. Share my screen. Don't need to share the tab audio. Okay. Let me see. Is that going through? There we go. It's
I
so
think so.
big. It's so big. Okay.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Oh God.
It's so big. Okay. Do you guys want to just go in order and make our picks as we go?
Okay.
Yeah.
So pool A, we have 1, 2. So first place in the group, second place. Puerto Rico, Cuba, Canada, Panama, and Colombia. What do you guys?
PR.
PR at 1.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm doing this myself as well. Scoop, are you? Who are you taking in this group?
Hang on, it keeps like goofing around. I'm trying to have all the rosters at once in my head, but I'll go with Puerto Rico.
All right, I'm taking Puerto Rico as well. Can I make a hot take? I'm gonna do a hot take. Is this hot?
That's part of what the show is for.
Canada goes through.
I can see
Canada
it,
goes through.
because Cuba.
Yeah, go, Brandon. Sorry.
I'm thinking about, because Colombia's not a baseball country. Panama is, but not to the extent of PR.
I don't
Cuba,
love Canada's pitching at all.
I don't like their pitching, but I don't know. But Cuba to me always seems to underperform too. So I don't hate it. I probably would have said Cuba.
I don't like any of these teams pitching all that much.
Yeah, Puerto Rico is by far the best country in this group here. But
are you guys both taking
For which part?
For the second position.
Hang
Of
just
Pool A.
give me 1 second here. I'm trying to. Sorry, this.
Scoop is desperately looking at the rosters. I love this. This is great.
Well, my thing's lagging real quick. Also,
I'm not just doing it on who's a baseball country. Like Cuba's the best baseball country left of the four.
And I'm still gonna take Canada. I think
Yeah.
Canada has a really good roster. I'm taking them.
yeah. You know what? My personal vote for second would be Panama.
Oh, you're taking Panama. Okay.
Yeah.
And Brandon, you're taking Cuba, right?
Yeah, I'll probably take Cuba.
Okay. Poll B, USA number 1. It's not really a question here.
Yep.
Who's
I love how
second?
Trevor just said Scoop's internet strikes again. Meanwhile, the show started 2 hours ago, and I'm seeing you at 8:55.
This is such an interesting spot for second position because Mexico, Italy, Great Britain, and Brazil.
But I still think Mexico.
I'm trying to think of who plays for Great Britain. I can think of like two players for Great Britain.
Well, Jazz is going to.
Okay, so there's one
No.
negative against them.
Yeah. But like Great Britain always has like a mix of like MLB players and then like plumbers. So it's like,
So who are the MLB players? We
like-
named one plumber. Who are the MLB players?
We named one plumber.
yeah.
But anyway, you pick the US. Yeah, I'm picking the US.
I mean,
too, obviously.
US is number 1. We don't even have to discuss it. They have the best roster here.
I think of the rest of them, I think I'm taking Mexico.
I'm between Mexico and Italy, but
I'm gonna go GB. I'm taking Great Britain. I'm gonna
Really?
go GB. I'm gonna go with the upset here.
fascinating.
Are you going Mexico, Brandon?
Yeah, I'm taking
Yeah,
Mexico.
I'll go with Mexico too. It was close, but I'd probably put them 2 and Italy 3.
Okay, I'm going GB. We'll see. We got Japan, Australia, Korea, Czechia, and Chinese Taipei. This is a fun group.
That's fun. Well, Japan's number
Yeah,
one.
Japan's number 1.
I would say
I low-key would put Australia second, even though I would normally put Korea second. I low-key want to put Australia second.
yeah, I was thinking Korea
How
too.
competitive is Czechia and the Chinese Taipei going to be in this group?
Not at all.
Chinese Taipei would probably be 4th. Czechia is, in my opinion, by far number 5. Sorry.
Yes, yeah, I agree with Josh. Korea's 2 for me.
I was going to go Korea as well. Are we all going Korea?
Yeah, well, depends on what Scoop does.
It's close enough that I'll say that Korea's fine. I'm not aggressively pushing for anybody else. So,
All right, our last poll: Venezuela, Dominican Republic, Netherlands, Israel, and Nicaragua.
that might be the most
I think
interesting pool to me.
It is.
I think DR's 1.
DR's 1 to me as well.
I'm between DR and Venezuela, so because you guys are both DR, we'll go DR.
And
It's your choice,
I think Venezuela's 2 anyway.
Yeah, say again.
You're going Venezuela, Brandon?
Yeah, I'll co-sign on that.
Netherlands too. I'm going hot takes. Netherlands goes through.
Ooh.
Shimmy cricket.
So what did you guys have? So for this first quarterfinal, is this not going to let me go back?
I guess not. I've got Cuba, US for the first one.
Who are you taking?
US.
Okay, I'm also taking U.S. over Canada. Scoop.
I mean, yeah, US over Canada.
Well, are you not going through it right now? Because I can't go back and do what the groups were.
No. Sorry. I'm trying to like go off of both screens at the same time.
Oh no. You can go back. Go scroll to the top. There should be 2
Oh,
arrows.
the arrows. There we
Go
go.
back.
Yeah, there we go. So who you had Puerto Rico and who in this second spot? You had Cuba, right?
The other quarterfinal before that is Korea DR
Yeah,
for me.
and I have that same, and I'm taking DR.
Yeah, so am I.
Scoop, do you just want to go picks off mine of what I have and make your picks here?
No, it's okay. For some reason, it's lagging on mine, so I might just fill it in myself off the show. My apologies on that.
Oh, no worries. I had Great Britain, Puerto Rico. What did you have, Brandon?
I had Mexico, Puerto Rico, which to me is tough.
Who are you taking?
I'm still Puerto Rican pride. Plus, I like the Puerto Rican roster still, even though they're not the best club of all of them in the tournament. I still would take PR over Mexico.
I'm also taking PR over Great Britain. Netherlands and Japan is fun to me. I like this matchup. You didn't have the Netherlands. Who do you have going through here?
Venezuela.
Okay, Venezuela, Japan is also fun. What are you doing here?
I still think it's Japan because it's Otani, Yamamoto, so.
I'm also going to
Yeah,
Japan.
see, Josh is like me. He said very tough PR. I'm biased. I say me too. But I think PR is just better than Mexico anyway. Not that much, absolutely. But Venezuela, Japan, I'm taking Japan.
U.S. Dominican Republic. You had the same, right?
Oof. That's the toughest matchup.
Scoop, what would you do for this matchup? Do you because that's tough to me too. What do you have for those?
For USDR?
Yeah.
That's tough.
It's really, if you look at both rosters, it's really tough.
It really is. I'm slightly leaning US, but it's like by the width of one of Pringle's hairs.
And by the way, I think US has the best roster here. I've said that all the way through. And so that's why I'm going US. But
yeah, I think US. I just think the US is going to end up in the final. Like they're going to have a couple,
I think that the DR is going to put the biggest fight to the US of anybody in the tournament.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think that's the best matchup. Yeah, I think if we get US DR, I'm excited to see that. That's what I want to see.
And you also had Puerto Rico, Japan, right?
Yeah.
Does Puerto Rico have a shot against them?
Well, they're not as good as they were in previous years. They're just not. But Japan isn't either.
Japan, I think, got worse from last time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, man,
both of these semifinals would be incredible. By the way,
that's why I kind of did it this way because I'm like, these are the countries I just feel like are going to be there at the end, and they usually are. US, DR, PR, and Japan.
Yeah.
So it's like it seems to be it's always those guys at the end because that's just these are all the big baseball countries. Those are the big four. So, oh my God, I
don't because I think Japan and Puerto Rico both got worse.
They did, but the thing is, like history favors Japan because Japan just has won this tournament 1,000 times, and Japan is still Japan. And the thing is, Japan is still going to have Shohei Ohtani hitting a baseball.
Exactly.
So that's why I'm just like, I think the slight edge is to Japan.
I'm also going to go slight edge Japan. Scoop, what do you have for this one? Are you going Puerto Rico? Are you thinking the same way we are, or do you have a different thought process?
I'm going Japan.
Why do you feel Japan here? What in your mind makes you go to for sure?
I mean, for sure, I think would be an extreme to put it, but
not for sure.
Yeah, but again, like it's just the guys that I see as like the biggest potential game wreckers. There's just more of them on the Japanese roster. And and that's no slight at all to because I think Puerto Rico has one of the top 3 or 4 rosters in the whole WBC. But it's just, I mean, it's the names that we talk about pretty much every show, right? And it's just the fact that there is just such a what just happened. Oh, sorry, there was a thing in the comment, but the fact that there is just such a heavy. Like we talked about the teams that are lacking for pitching. Japan is furthest thing from that.
And is that why the U.S. is better here?
No, I thought you were still talking about the previous one for the other.
Moving forward to USA Japan in the
moving
final.
forward to USA Japan. I'm still taking the U.S., but again, that's going to be close for me.
Yeah, I think Shohei not pitching makes a
Yeah,
difference.
exactly.
Even though it would be it would be like if Shohei was pitching, I would say Japan.
That's exactly where I'm
really?
at. That's exactly where I'm at.
Yeah, that's how close this is. But also,
it's also
like,
I think people, because it hasn't happened as much as we would have liked the last couple of years. I think people really forget how impactful that man is as a pitcher.
Incredibly.
And
impactful.
and I think when it comes to the U.S. lineup, if you get, the version of Aaron Judge that you should get as captain, and if you get Cal Raleigh hitting, Mr. 60 home runs and all this stuff and greatest season for a catcher ever, if you get those two things, and if you get Bobby Witt being one of the best middle infielders in baseball, obviously he also wouldn't be here. Gunnar Henderson, young, very young, great, middle infielder. You've got guys up and down this lineup that I really like. I like our pitching, believe it or not. I think our pitching is the only one that can stop Japan too. So because I think our pitching is fine. When you've got that collection of starters that we do, the bullpen isn't the greatest, but I think it's good enough. I mean, it ain't gonna matter about having a closer. Honestly, like the bullpen, I don't think is going to matter much for the U.S. when you're going to have these guys go like 7 innings every time they go out there. So, because these starters are incredible. So I've said this before the tournament. I'm going to say it now. I think the U.S. wins the whole thing. I think they just do. They're just top to bottom. This is probably the most complete U.S. roster in a while. They have a few young guys who are really, really damn good. They have a lot of guys in their prime who are really damn good. They've got the best hitter in baseball, one of the best hitters of all time, as their captain. And I just think that the pitching staff is probably the best that they've had in a very long time. So I think and also I would love nothing more than for the U.S. to win another, the United States to win another tournament. So,
for sure. Scoop, do you love the pitching as much as Brandon, or do you have some concerns?
Well, here's the thing. When it comes to the subjectivity of, or not just subjectivity, but the comparison of things like this, the unfortunate part of it, I think from a holistic perspective, is just that there are just a lot of teams in this year that just don't have the greatest pitching. So I think it also makes ours look that much more impactful because of the other teams that just don't have it. I think that there are a lot of teams that are much more Baltimore Orioles-ish in terms of being position player heavy over pitching heavy. So I think but I think that in of itself, the perspective of, us versus other teams, makes it look that much more outsized, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's correct. And Trevor's comment about the Jets, yeah, it's obvious they're taking a pass rusher. It's the most obvious thing on the planet.
You talked about, was it Arvell Reese you said that you thought they were locked into?
It's recent. Who's the other kid who was really impressive today?
The one I told you impressed me was Ruben Bain. I don't know if that's who you're thinking of.
No, not Ruben.
You were talking about Sonny Styles, rather.
Not
Styles. Did you guys?
I think 2 is too high for
Did you guys see this? They have tiebreaker questions for after you submit your bracket.
What are the tiebreaker questions?
It was like total runs scored, total runs scored in the final, and one other. Now,
how many home runs will be hit? How many home runs will be hit by all players during the 2026 WBC? They said the last one, the total was 85.
It'll be like, I would go like 95 probably.
That's what I was thinking the same thing. It says how many total runs will be scored by all teams. The last one was 502. I mean, and more home runs just means pretty much more runs most of the time. So, like, I would say somewhere probably like 520, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
How many total runs have you scored in the final? Yeah, in the final, the total was 5. I think it's gonna be more than that. I think it's gonna be like 7. I would say.
How many home runs
So-
in the final? Excuse me.
No. How many total runs we scored in the final?
I'll go like
Last one was
7.
5.
You go like 7. Yeah.
That's yeah.
Really quick, Trevor.
We don't need.
Really quick, Trevor. David Bailey is an option. I think it's Bailey or Reese, and I can't decipher between the two. I have to watch more tape. But I honestly would take Reese because here's the thing: he's playing edge and linebacker. He can do both, and I think that kind of puts him above anything. That's just my opinion, but I have to do more tape work on him because I just haven't yet. Is the issue? Scoop, what are you getting in your mock drafts? What anything interesting that you're seeing, or like the guys that you're paying attention to?
Can you be a little more specific? What do you mean? What am I getting?
Well, are there any surprises that are any guys that are kind of standing out to you that you weren't expecting based on like
when I'm looking at other mock drafts?
Yeah, when you're looking at other mock
Okay,
drafts.
I thought you meant when I do my own. My bad.
Either way, I'm just curious what surprises you have so far.
A surprise that I've seen in a couple of them is that the guy that Brandon and I talk about quite a bit, the tight end from Oregon, Kenyon Sadiq, he looks like, Brandon expressed a concern about a week or two ago that he didn't think, I think it was Brandon, it might have been you, Rob, but it was one of y'all, that one of y'all didn't think that Sadiq was going to make it down to the early 20s.
We both said that actually. I thought he would be like top 15.
I didn't hear you.
The mocks that I'm seeing, the last few days have him falling to the last couple picks of the first round.
I don't really understand that because I think he's going to have a good day tomorrow when the tight ends go.
My guess is it's just from what's perceived as a lack of a need to take a tight end in the first round. That's my guess, because there's really only 2 or 3 teams I can think of that I would say badly need a tight end this offseason. But so that might be a factor in it, or they might just perceive it as not the biggest need some teams have. And I also just maybe, and I think this is somewhat unfair to him, but there's a pretty poor recent track record of first round tight ends, which I think may be being held against him a little bit, which I don't think is fair, but I think that might be part of it as well.
Yeah. The knock on him, and I've watched him more than anybody else. The knock on him is just that he has short arms. Like he's super athletic, but he's got short arms, and that doesn't usually translate well to the next level. But at the same time, he catches everything thrown to him. He's just as athletic as Kyle Pitts was coming into the draft. He and the thing is, everyone's like, oh, well, he's not a good blocker. I'm like, if you play at Oregon, you have to be a good blocking tight end.
Sure.
You have, because they run the ball a lot.
They're a big running team.
So the thing is, I've watched him block. He's not great. He's not great just on the line, blocking on the line. But if he's one-on-one in space, he will pancake the shit out of somebody. So because he is super strong. He's a good blocker. It's like you don't want him blocking at the line. You would want him to kind of chip somebody and release. Because the thing is, whenever he was the most times that he was targeted, pretty much from what I just saw on tape and what I obviously have watched of him, is if you're not having him lined up in the slot to run pretty much down the seam, because he's just a fast tight end and super physical and he's just a freak athlete. If you're not going to have him line up in the flat, you're going to have him line up on the line, chip somebody, and then leak out into open space. And if you give him the ball, and the thing is, that's what Philly does a lot with their tight ends. That's what they do with Dallas Goedert a lot. That's what they did last year with Dallas Goedert, is he would chip off the line and then literally leak out into open space, like 5-10 yards down the field. Hurts would hit him in stride to be a 15-yard.
But also, if you're running a 2 TE set, you don't need both tight ends to be great blockers.
No, you don't. And the thing is, they're going to probably need him to be the better of the blocker, because if they don't find somebody to work with Grant Calcaterra, you definitely don't want Grant Calcaterra blocking all the damn time. He's the worst blocking tight end in the NFL. So,
I also, if you're talking about Philly specifically, I also think there's a very good chance they get more than one tight end this offseason.
I would
agree with that. Yeah.
And the thing is, I know Philly doesn't like the history with obviously with Oregon and all this different stuff. And so I know a lot of fans are like, oh, no more Oregon players. I'm like, no, bro. Like,
Is that because of the Chip Kelly thing?
Well, Chip Kelly, but also on all the guys that he brought with him, either from
That
the,
was
from
12
the draft
years
or from
ago.
booze. Yeah, but people have because people are like, oh, what about Josh Huff, Kiko Alonso when they got in the trade and all. Like, I'm like, it doesn't matter, bro. Those are completely.
Do they realize Kiko Alonso was an integral part of the trade that got us up to number 2 to take Carson Wentz?
That is
true.
yeah.
It's like exactly, but they don't see it that way. So it's like, I'm like, you do realize that Kane Sadiq is probably like, and the thing is, look at the Oregon players in recent history that have been really good. Bo Nix, Bucky Irving. I mean, hell, you have Jackson Powers Johnson, I think, who was a first rounder as a center. So you've got a bunch of different guys that are a lot of Oregon guys that are actually in the NFL now that are actually really good players, either as a starter or a role player. And Kane Sadiq is a starting tight end. Whoever gets him, I keep saying this, he can be what Kyle Pitts was supposed to be, because Kyle Pitts was supposed to have the hands to go with the athleticism.
Yeah, right.
Kane Sadiq has the athleticism and the hands. I've seen it. He doesn't drop hardly anything. So I love everything about his game, and I like, that's why I keep saying, like, if we don't go, we need a few different things, but if we need a tight end, if we don't get something done with Dallas Goedert and decide that that's it, then to me, if you're gonna let him go and you don't see anybody else you like out there, you must get Kane Sadiq. He's the best tight end in this draft.
I still think he's going to have a good day at the combine. He's going to have a good pro day. And I think he's a top 15 pick. I don't see him falling that, at least right now. My opinion of it can change because, we have 2 months or 1 month and a half. As of right now, I don't see him falling to Philly. Hell, I don't even see him falling to Seattle if I was going to go there, but of course he won't.
If we're talking about Philly specifically, one guy that I would keep my eye on, who's increasingly intriguing me as a fit at 23, obviously the obvious being, if he falls there, top 20 pass blocker this year, top 20 run blocker this year, and I'm sorry if I butcher this name, but Penn State guard Olivier Vega Ione. He's really caught my attention. Again, he was a top guy in both pass blocking, run blocking. He, aside from the in contrast to the guys who are basically, now he missed a couple games, but in contrast to the guys who, they've got a couple of really up games and a couple of really down games. He really didn't have a down game this year. I mean, he didn't have a great game against Indiana, but he was pretty consistent this year. So if you're going to give me both, higher end production and consistently like he did, that was really something that caught my attention. I think Philly, it's pretty well perceived that Philly needs to go off interior offensive line with probably one of their first 2 picks this year. And also the fact that what was one of their biggest issues this year offensively? Penalties. He only got penalized 1 time this year.
It's good. It's good.
There's one more name I would throw into the ring at where we picked. Was it 23? Yep. And because Shane gave him a glowing letter of recommendation, and it's Avion Terrell from Clemson, because the Philly desperately needs a second corner. I know that everybody's going to be sick of us, drafting great corners and whatnot.
You need a third. You need a third to fix it.
But you need a third because Coop can't play outside. Coop is your slot corner. So if you were to bring him to Philadelphia, and Shane he gave us a whole like 2 or 3 paragraphs as to why he likes him, and I wish I could find it because I have to scroll so far back I didn't save it. But
it's okay. I think we know Shane well enough to know what he would have said about what he thinks.
And the thing is, as a guy who knows DBs well, like he does, obviously him being a former safety and him also coaching DBs now, I trust what he sees out there. I mean, I know it's high school level that Shane coaches, but Shane has seen it enough. And the thing is, I do remember a little bit of him at Clemson. I know he's not the biggest corner, but he's fast enough. I just think that because this season, I mean, defensively we were okay, even with the injuries we dealt with. But when you think about just how bad Adoree Jackson was. I don't care what he did the last 3 games of the season and knocking away all these passes and whatnot and playing well. It's like you still sucked for 2/3 of the season, and you were part of the reason we lost a lot of games because you gave up a lot of yards and penalty yards. So
yeah, that penalty side, I think, was something that got really lost in the sauce, so to speak.
Yeah, I think that's right,
like the whole team. The whole team was heavily penalized, but you need that solid second corner because they're not throwing like we saw this year. They are not going to throw the ball anywhere near Coop and Q at all because they know better. Because why would you throw at two of the best corners in the NFL? Right. You're not going to do that. So it's like not only was it 2 of the best, but also the talent. Like it's one thing if there's like you've got 2. Like some teams have like 1 or 2 like elite secondary guys, and then one who's still like good enough that he's still a factor. When you have a pumpkin out there as your other option, it's a lot easier. Like at least put somebody in there who could put the fear of God into your second best receiver sometimes. And you notice just a lot this year too. It was like I know the season's over and we're talking about combine stuff.
Season's never over on this show.
Yeah, but it's also funny because it's like there's sometimes where I'm watching our defense last year. I said this a lot to you guys even while watching the games. I'm like, okay, I see that Quinion Mitchell is about like 3 to 5 yards off the receiver and he's going to jam him or whatever it is, or he's going to be locked on him. He's going to be on him like glue. I'm like, they are not going to throw Quinion Mitchell's away. I look at the other side of the field and I see Adoree Jackson is 12 yards off the receiver, and I'm like, why are you so far back? Like you are literally all they gotta do is tell the guy at the line of scrimmage, hey, just turn around and let me throw you the ball. You're gonna have at least an 8-yard gain. And the best part is Adoree Jackson can't tackle. So you're gonna break the tackle and probably run from the 20 yards.
The amount of times this year that I watched, and it wasn't just Jackson, the amount of times that I watched this year, one of our guys, pretty much anybody but one of the 2 guys that we just talked about in Q and Coop, the amount of times that I watched somebody catch either, it was a quick slant or a comeback, something like that, and then turn around, head upward, and then one of our guys just like looked like one of those like little rotating like doors that they have at the freaking front of the airport. And
such a funny comparison.
It's exactly what it freaking looked like. It looked like it didn't even look like he was there to try and stop him. It looked like he was there to like give him a pat down before he went into the theater.
Oh my god!
Holy crap!
Don't you just love draft season?
I love draft season. I've done like 19 mock drafts already.
I'm impressed they've done that many. I still haven't done as much research as I need to. My question to you guys, I have a spring training question. Not the ABS stuff, because we saw that last year. We don't even worry about the ABS. Do you think
I do want to talk about that at some point though.
No, I'll let you go on that. But my question is, do you guys think that the benches or the rest of the 40-man minus the regular starters are essentially built similarly to how the starters like to play? Because that's kind of what I'm noticing in spring training.
Like I'm not sure if I understand the question.
So let me phrase it this way. In the NFL, you draft, let's say, a linebacking core that does certain things, right? Let's just say they're a finesse linebacker, right? So you have a group of finesse linebackers. Well, in order to have that, you want a group of finesse linebackers backing them up. Or, for example, with Lamar Jackson, you need a running quarterback behind him.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
So with the rest of the 40-man, I look at, for example, I think Seattle does this. I think the Padres do this. They just look like, all right, the rest of our 40-man is going to play similarly to how our starters play night in or night out. That's at least how I'm seeing it.
I don't really think so, and here's what I'll say, and I'll actually use a deal that just happened to as a way to kind of make my point here. I think that because one of the biggest differences about baseball versus football is like baseball, a lot of the times, whether you're facing, let's say, a right-hander or a left-hander on the mound, makes a big difference. There's tends to be an advantage for right-handed hitters against left-handed pitchers. And vice versa, or for left-handed pitchers against left-handed hitters and vice versa. So I would make the case that I think it's actually the opposite. I think a lot of teams try and put on their bench different guys that are in the starting lineup. And one example that I'll give just happened a few days ago. The Yankees brought in Randall Grichuk, a former outfielder for the Toronto Blue Jays, who is going to be a bench guy. He's going to probably expected to play left field on days where they face lefties, which will move Cody Bellinger to center field and put Trent Grisham on the bench in those days, because Trent Grisham's also a left-hander facing lefties, obviously, as I just mentioned before. So I think that there's a lot more incentive in baseball to put guys on the bench that do different things than your lineup does, because I think those matchups make so much of a difference. Like another example I'll mention when we talked about NFL a few minutes ago. You'll have instances with. And sometimes you'll have it in the NFL where you'll have instances where there's two. If you have two running backs, you go for one who's more of an uptown runner. You'll have one who's more of a blocker or a pass catcher, kind of similar to what the Lions do, or the Bills do at times when the Bills actually use the running game. But there's also, I think that's kind of what you see far more of in baseball. At least from what I've seen, I don't really see a ton of advantage in terms of putting guys on your bench who do a lot of similar things to the only advantage I really see of that is when guys get hurt per se. But even so, pretty much anybody who's good enough to not be a massive fall off from your starting 8 would be in the lineup somewhere anyway.
Brandon?
When I think about your bench players, and it's when I was just talking about this kind of thing with the TCA guys, and we were talking about like the Blue Jays and Yankees, and how close the competition is. And I was talking about how I think the Yankees, their depth is better than a lot of teams' depth, and we don't realize it. And because when you have depth players, right? Everybody's like a lot of people just dismiss them and be like, oh yeah, this guy's only going to play 30, 40 games, whatever it is. It's not going to matter. I'm like, but here's the thing, if a starter gets hurt, you need that depth guy to be at least serviceable.
Right.
It can't just be like, you can't, like a lot of fans, they always keep saying, oh, we want this big name, that big name, this big name, that. But the thing is, they disregard the depth. You're going to deal with injuries throughout a season. Yep. Your starter, not every, in a perfect world, you would want all these big names and all of them to play 162. That's not going to happen. Just not going to happen. So when you look at the depth, you need to look at okay, who can I put at these positions? Like when I look at the Yankees, because this is what I was talking about with the guys, and we're talking about just how the Yankee season might go, and I was like, okay, I like Ahmed Rosario. He kills lefties. That's what they need. They needed a bat to kill lefties. That's what he does. He did it a little bit last year when he got playing time, and he's a good clubhouse guy. That's what your depth should be. They brought back Paul Goldschmidt, not to start, but to back up Ben Rice, which is huge because Goldie, I think in a reduced role can be really effective. Could basically almost carry what he did in the first half throughout a whole season because he'll be fresher.
Right.
So you have that, and the thing is, he's a great defensive first baseman. So if they need a defensive switch late in the game, if they take Ben Rice out 7th, 8th inning, in a blowout game, they can do that. Then and it would make sense. And then you've got behind you have kind of the little shortstop, kind of little controversy, but not too much. But you have Volpe, who is basically in AAA, but will come back at some point. And you have Caballero. Now, Caballero originally was a depth guy last year, but did well in a depth role this year. Now, as a starter, that might change, and we might see Volpe get a little bit better in AAA, maybe come back more confident, and maybe he ends up being, taking back that role. We'll see there. But to have two guys who can kind of play the position and them well because they've been here for over a year now, it helps. And it's good for the team chemistry to have depth guys to come back also. You go to third base, and at third behind McMahon, you don't have just one guy behind him. You have like 2 or 3 because if need be, they're probably not gonna do this, but if need be, you can have Jazz go back to third maybe for a game or 2. You have Cabrera. People forget that Cabrera is now back, and Cabrera is an infectious clubhouse
Oh,
guy
yeah.
that played really well before he got hurt last year. So you have that to look forward to. And hell, even at catcher, if you don't have Austin Wells, you have Ben Rice. So on the days where Ben Rice catches, you can stick Goldie.
Don't forget about JC Escarra still there.
Right.
I was going to get to that
sorry.
too. Yeah, JC Escarra, who not just his story is great, but as a fill-in guy, he's not that bad for what he is. So, and the thing is, they're all guys who know each other. That helps too because they've been together for at least a year, and they're all good clubhouse guys. And the thing is, and then, like, I'm not even talking about like in the outfield, because in the outfield, if you have to, bring them up to play, you now have Grichuk, veteran presence, who has been pretty much decent everywhere he's went, a real solid baseball player everywhere he's went. So he's not a problem to me. He's perfect as a fourth outfielder. That you've got, they still have to figure out what they're going to do with Jones and Dominguez, but if they get that playing time and show that they can play, if Jones cuts down the strikeouts, like, you have to have guys in the minors ready to go too. So those guys will be in there, ready to go. And then of course you're it's funny because he actually does. I think his bat actually plays better when he's in the field, and even though he's not gonna play the field much because he's old, it's Stanton. So Stanton, whenever he's in the outfield, can provide a little bit of a break for if Judge needs a day off, they can stick Stanton in there if they need to. But when you have depth guys like all these different pieces, and just not just for the Yankees, but for other teams, you need depth guys that can fill a role, but fill it well, and that you can get what's expected out of them. You're not asking them to be, you're not asking, Cabrera to be like McMahon. You're not asking, Ben Rice to be like the old school Mark Teixeira.
No.
Right.
But you need guys to play to their abilities. Like, you're not asking you're not asking old Paul Goldschmidt to be the starter like he was last year. You're asking him, hey, mentor Ben Rice, do what you do. You're a veteran presence. It matters. So, people don't realize that your bench is most times, and what you can get out of your bench, and playing to your bench players' strengths when they do come into games, and knowing what situations to put them in. That's a difference between a team that can get to the World Series and a team that can win it.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
We talk about like unlikely heroes, right? It could always be a bench guy. We talk about, what's the one thing that haunts Yankee fans forever? Dave Roberts stealing second base against them. I believe it was that 2004. And and he became a hero after that. But the thing is, not a starter, not even close, not a starting.
A lot of the big moments type guys are like Aaron Boone is the classic example for Yankees fans.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the big moment guys in like histories of World Series or really like major memorable baseball moments, I think I would say go so far as to say oftentimes it's not your superstar or your most known player.
And you know what's funny? Everybody talks about we're talking about like even just memorable moments, not even just like game, not even just like World Series or playoff winning games, but memorable moments. Like, everybody seems to forget, even though it's hard to forget, but everybody seems to forget who scored the winning run on Derek Jeter's game.
Never, Antoine Richardson.
Exactly, Antoine Richardson. So like, you need guys who can disrupt things in different. Like, if you have a guy who can steal bags, you put him out there. Like, what did the Yankees do late in the season when they needed base running? Jose Caballero, go out there. You have speed. You can steal 40 bags. Put him out there.
You can get ejected twice.
Well, yeah, but the thing is like, all the best teams in the MLB. When you look at Seattle, the Yankees, the Mariners, Yankees, Seattle, Dodgers, Blue Jays, like, they all have good bench guys. It's not just their starters. It's the bench guys that can step up and perform when asked to.
Yep.
And that's like, so I hate because this is how you can always tell like what a casual fan is when they're like, oh, good. Like, a lot of Yankees fans going crazy saying, oh, we need to get Skubal, Skeens, we need Bo Bichette, we need, all these different guys. I'm like, you realize that money doesn't grow on trees, right? And you do
I'm going to add on to that
realize
when you're finished because I have a perfect thing off of that.
it's like you do realize that these guys could end up getting hurt. Like, I'm not saying they will, but they could. And then who's your backup plan because you've ignored the depth that you need on your team? So what? You're gonna put some guy from AA out there because you ignored your depth, and that guy's gonna be, his confidence gonna be shot to all hell.
And by the way, I'm sorry to interrupt, Brandon, but that's what the whole thing of 162. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's a war of attrition situation.
It's not a sprint. Yep. Exactly.
Well, it's and what I'll add. Well, first of all, I don't want to be cutting you off, Brandon.
No, that was basically it.
An example that I would consider a canonical example that I would use in terms of the whole depth matchups thing or whatever. I almost needed another brain surgery from the amount of times that in the past 6 months I was asked, why did we not sign, or why are we not signing, or when are we signing Kyle Tucker?
Kyle Tucker.
Well, let me get to that. Kyle Tucker is a right fielder who hasn't played center field since COVIDism, who barely even knows where left field is unless he's walking to the field across it. Excuse me. And Yankees fans were supposed to bring him in because, he was a big bat. He's a big bat. Where the hell is he going to play on days when Aaron Judge is in the lineup and playing right field? Are you putting Aaron Judge at DH every day? Because you're going to have a $360 million DH. And newsflash for y'all already got one in Giancarlo Stanton. And if you're leaving Judge out there in right field, Kyle Tucker becomes presumably your $300 million DH. And if that's what are you going to do? Get rid of Giancarlo Stanton? Because here's the problem. If you get rid of Giancarlo Stanton, which is now more financially feasible, but here's the problem. You get rid of Giancarlo Stanton, what are you doing? You're going to go and you're going to tell me a few minutes later they don't get guys who can hit in October. Giancarlo Stanton's been their best hitter in October. Giancarlo Stanton's been their best hitter in October every year except this past season.
And he can't even cut a slice of bread, and you guys are still hype about him.
God help me. Out. But yeah, so that was probably the biggest thing that got to me this offseason was just the amount of discourse where it's first of all, I entirely agree with Brandon's point about money doesn't grow on trees and fans not understanding that, and fans act like Hal isn't serious enough about winning because he's he doesn't have the same passion that his dad did or one thing or another. First of all, do those fans understand that the luxury tax didn't exist when George was doing? When George was the owner, that the penalties that exist now for signing free agents of a certain caliber or of a certain type or a certain threshold or whatever, and exceeding the luxury tax to certain extents, those penalties did not exist a few years ago. They cost you in the draft, which we're always talking about how we don't develop prospects well. We don't get the top prospects like teams do that are willing to rebuild and things of that nature. And now you want to hurt us more in the draft by taking more penalties and lowering our picks even further and getting rid of our first round picks. You guys are contradicting yourself at every possible turn, and you're not even connecting the dots.
You just can't win. You can't if you're in the Yankees fan base, you can't win because no matter what you say, you're gonna piss a large chunk of the fan base.
I probably just right there, but they've been doing it to me the whole offseason.
And the thing is, and listen, and everybody knows I'm not a Cashman guy, I'm not a Hal Steinbrenner guy, but at the same time, I'm also realistic. Like, I also understand when the team can do things and when they can't.
I will also say, sorry, Brandon. I will also say to add to this, you guys don't have the money that the Dodgers do. You guys don't. You just don't have that kind of money.
Yeah,
we haven't monopolized half of the Pacific, whatever they're called, Pacific West or whatever that region's called. We haven't monopolized half of that in terms of because guess what? Over there, the games that are being shown in there nationally and across multiple different countries, they ain't showing the Yankee games. They're showing the Dodger games. They're showing for a period of time the Chicago Cubs games. I tip my hat to the Dodgers because they have architected that so well. But excuse me, sorry. It's the amount of times that I think we talk about franchise mode in video games. The amount of times that I swear fans think that you can just turn on forced trade and bring over whoever you want for whatever your dog didn't eat from your dinner bowl last night. I just and it's so crazy. It's so funny to me to watch. I mean, the meme a few years ago was what Clint Frazier, Chance Adams, Justin Sheffield, and whoever else for the biggest name player you can find. Some of the trade offers I saw people suggesting for Skeens and or Skubal this offseason, I was embarrassed to share a fan base with these guys.
Asinine.
Oh, it was like did you see like what people kept echoing about the like Baltimore Ravens fans and their trade offer for AJ Brown? It was like, oh yeah, we're gonna give you Rashad Bateman and a 7th rounder. Are you kidding me?
Oh, I can top that. The other day I saw, and there's a lot of times I'm grateful to have at least been born and raised in Western New York. This time was not one of them. I saw a Buffalo Bills fan.
Keon Coleman?
Straight up, Keon Coleman for AJ Brown. Keon Coleman wouldn't do that trade.
What is this, fantasy football? Like, what are we doing? Okay, Scoop, before we go, what is your thing on the ABS system? I'm really curious about this. What's your thing on ABS?
Okay. So first and foremost, I'm loving it so far. I really
so
am.
good. It's so good. I love it.
I really am loving it so far. Excuse me. I will, and there was I'm sure it's different now, but a few days ago it was kind of, I don't know if leaked is the right word, but it came out that I think it was 51% of challenges have gone through. So.
Oh God. Oh God.
What?
That's a lot.
It is a lot. It is. So 1, it's having a positive impact, obviously. 2, it's holding umpires accountable. And 3, and
did your computer?
I got a text. Well, I got a text. I got a text, but I don't have my contact. I don't use my contact list at all. So I was just trying to remember who the number was.
What?
I don't think I have one name in my contact list. But
that's ridiculous.
Oh
Scoop, how does your brain exist?
Between my ears.
Well, no, because oh God, we're off. This is bad. Okay, Scoop, how do you remember even my number? I have a 425 number. How do you remember that?
It's pretty easy, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not going to dox it on here, but it's pretty easy.
Because I'm the only one with a 425 number on your phone. Is that it?
No, there's 3 people with them.
Yeah, you're the only person with 425 on my phone. So, well, you and Shane, but I'm like, I know it's one of you.
Shane is. I think Shane is.
Oh, it changed.
Yeah.
Shane is 206. I think.
Okay, so yeah, you're right.
Then we're not doxing anybody. This is just what it is. Well, anyway, that's what
I'm saying. That's what I was saying. Like I was like, I could tell you, but I don't think that people should hear that on the show. But it's just. I don't know. I can tell you my grandparents' number where they lived when I grew up, and they haven't lived there since 2004.
You know, do you know how many times I've doxed myself on this show, but no one cares?
Oh, I've doxed myself. Just this poster makes someone want to dox me.
Yeah, but doing it yourself, and that poster's fire. But doing it yourself and someone else doing it are 2 different things. Especially when I'm the one who is supposed to be the one who.
I'm gonna be real honest here. This poster is a problem because this is a sports show and people who see this poster are going to think wrong things about me, and that's an issue. Even though I love this poster.
Bro, how many times have either Nicole or Trevor or who the hell ever else typed in Swifty Scoops in the comments? It is a known fact that I'm a Taylor Swift fan too. It is not a problem. Mr. Hathaway says, "Hey Scoop, what's up, my friend? How you doing, Mr. Hathaway? Hope you had a good week. And looking forward to talking to you guys. I think I'm going to be on the show on Saturday, but we'll finalize that at some point.
Busy Saturday, dude. You have a busy Saturday.
Oh my God, that. I mean, I know this is basically a replay of this, but
why are your eyes going back and forth like you're watching a ping pong match?
But because I just saw I didn't realize defensive lineman ran this fast. Well, I saw the 4.51 from David Bailey.
That's why when Rob called me earlier, and first of all, I couldn't understand what he was saying because his voice was going at 4 different pitches a second. But
yeah, because I was freaking out.
You were. It was insane. It was like a kid on Christmas. But the way he was talking about the defensive the speed, because on the 40s of the defensive linemen. And I was asking him, you talking about just the edgers? I mean, you talking about just the is it both the edgers and the
No,
interiors,
that was the first group was just the D linemen. The second were the edges, so it's just the regular D linemen.
Yeah,
But a 4.51.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
it is.
I mean, I just saw the dude run a 4.67, and that was crazy. So yeah, I knew you were gonna do it. But that was his time.
No, I know.
Like,
and, and who was it earlier that we saw that had the top one for the longest time? It was 4.76. Zane Scott or something.
It
No,
was
Zane Scott. No, Zane,
Durant.
okay, yeah. I was gonna say Zane Scott was a kicker. Saturday, Seton Hall versus Connecticut. Scoop. Flyers losing 2-1. We suck. What else is new?
On national TV, by the way. On national, you're playing on ESPN today, my friend.
Yeah.
I'm actually
mean,
gonna put that game on now.
Great. I mean, until we can figure out why our own team hates Mishkov, I don't know what to expect from us anymore. What?
Okay. Draft picks for the Giants. Sorry, I'm tripping.
Draft picks for the Giants.
Where are they placed again? They're like 10th?
No, like 7th.
No, 7th is the Commanders.
Okay, they're somewhere. They're somewhere. I thought they were.
They're 5th.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they are 5th.
Probably a D lineman.
Okay.
Probably D lineman.
Yeah, I mean the last mock draft that I saw had them taking an O tackle. That's probably probably the route in which I would go. The only way that I would go. Well, not the only way per se, but okie dokie. But I would say probably the main reason in which, like, to me, probably the biggest one that makes sense for me is Francis Mauigoa out of Miami. But
that's what I saw.
But I think that I don't know. You can maybe make a case for me that Jermon McCoy makes sense. That's the corner out of Tennessee. I know he's gotten some helium recently. I don't think Delane, the corner out of LSU, I don't think he's going to go high enough for him to make sense there. If they trade down, he might make sense. But yeah, I mean, to me, O tackle makes by far the most sense there for them. If they stay at 5, I do think there's a chance they trade down. But to me, that's what, I just think that fits the best, and really the only one there that makes sense for me is Mauigoa. So I think to me that's the natural fit.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
Do they need a backup?
Backup quarterback.
So my thoughts on the completely not where I was going at all. My thoughts on the backup quarterback situation, and when I say situation, I mean all 32. I don't think there's a legitimate reason, whether it's late in the draft or UDFA, to not at least try and get another quarterback once every 2 years or so. Because how many times have we seen, I don't care who you are, the Chiefs lost their quarterback this year, and it completely turned their season on its head. The Ravens.
What do you mean why they get rid? What do you mean why they got rid of Russell Wilson? He sucks. He's a bad backup quarterback. He shouldn't even be playing. He's terrible.
Well, no, because we're saying will they get rid of him? Because that's what the
they are getting rid of him. He's a free agent. Sorry, Scoop. Go ahead.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. The Patriots did this every year, Scoop, where they got a quarterback. They drafted a quarterback every year.
Yeah, and that's really what I would say. Like I freaked people out a couple weeks ago when I said I would draft a quarterback late if I were Philly. Like I would draft if he falls into like the 6th round, I might I can't stand it, but I might take a look at a Carson Beck. But it just depends on what the value is and where.
It's a good thought. Yeah, it's a really good thought. I don't hate it. I really like it. Again, that is the thing. That's the engine that makes your NFL team go. And if you're up a creek without a paddle in the middle of a season, you've banked up a 7-3 record, and all of a sudden your QB goes down. You don't want to piss that away. Just because of you may have a quarterback go down, but your entire rest of your team may still very much be at least playoff caliber, if not Super Bowl caliber.
And
there's Karen.
yeah, I saw him. Here, okay, one trick pony over here. Just kidding. Good evening, fellas, and hello again, Uncle Leopold Scoops. I still don't understand that, but good evening, Kenny. And as always, on Thursday he's working, and I appreciate him tuning in. Despite that, it's always well appreciated that he is able to join. He also has helped us a lot this week with some stuff that we've got going on, and I just want to give him an extra shout out for that.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited for Saturday, man. That's gonna be the combine. The combine show is so silly. Like if you thought the Senior Bowl was bad, wait for Saturday. We lose our minds for 2 hours.
I thought the Senior Bowl was great.
No, I'm just saying. Like if you want to see us lose our minds for 2 hours and barely talk about football, wait for Saturday.
Which way does this go? This is that way. You think Rob, as he likes to say pretty much every week, I say something that makes him blow a gasket. I'm gonna probably make him blow 6.5 gaskets in the span of 2 or 3 hours on Saturday.
I'm so excited. Wait, can you finish up on the ABS system before we head out? Because I keep forgetting.
We went all topsy-turvy over there. So going back to that. Anyway, the points I was making, this part I do remember. The points that about 52% of the challenges have gone through. I do think some of it, and obviously spring training, working out the kinks of everything and one thing or another. I do think that there's something to be said about players seemingly and having a pretty good handle on what should be challenged, it seems so far. I am looking forward to looking forward to guys like Juan Soto, who the first time they make a challenge, and somebody's going to go up to him and an umpire's going to be there for a conference, and it's just going to be like, it's Juan Soto, and you actually think you have a chance in this argument?
Yeah.
It just proves that umpires suck.
I will say this. While it's helping the accountability, I do think it's also showing, and there was a graphic, I don't have access to it at the moment, but there was a graphic earlier that kind of showed a heat map of the strike zone over the past 20 years. Umpires have actually done, on the whole, they've actually done an increasingly really good job of both being accurate and being consistent. The problem is that, as usual, a few loud bad apples are, dragging down the name of a lot of them. Because again, unfortunately, we know the name Bill Buckner. We know the name. Hello,
CB
Buckner. Excuse me. We know the name CB Buckner. We know the name Angel Hernandez. We know these names. Someone go over and give this man the Heimlich.
Dude, but Angel Hernandez makes me gag. He's the single.
Thank God he ain't there no more.
Oh my God, bro.
The retirement of Angel Hernandez was the last time I saw the whole country universally agree on something.
Yes.
When CB Buckner and Laz Diaz both pack it in, I'd be so happy.
Oh, I forgot about Laz Diaz. But anyways, and I think it just goes to show, because you ask somebody who are the 3 or 4 best umpires in baseball, I'm willing to bet very few would actually have 4.
No way. Seahawks will select a receiver. I think they'll select a receiver or trade back. That's what I think Seattle is going to do. You guys do the Philly thing.
Yeah, Brandon, go ahead on Philly, and then I'll follow that out.
Yeah, we're pretty big on Sadiq, but I think that if it's not Sadiq, I still can't shake the fact that they need that second. I mean, because the thing is, we develop O linemen well, so I'm not worried about if who we're going to add there. I'm just worried. I know Jeff Stoutland's not there, so I know that's going to be kind of a learning process for the O line.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just think, man, they need secondary help bad, and they need that second corner bad. So I'm still an Avion Terrell guy out of Clemson. I still like him the most. But I can see a few different things, because we actually do have some holes we had to address. We have offensive line concerns because they were really bad this year. They took a big step back. We have like I said, CB2 concerns. We have safety concerns because Reed Blankenship might not come back, nor would I venture to say I might not want him back. So I don't think we need a wide receiver. Because I wouldn't see that. I think that I know Jahan Dotson wants to return, but he's not great. He doesn't create separation. I wouldn't bring him back. But I like Darius Cooper as a wide receiver 3 option if he just, because I think another year another year of experience matters. Because he was pretty much a rookie last year. But he's very physical. Like he's almost like AJ Brown light, I would say. Like that was his comparison. Like that's what he just looks like when he's out there. But I'm not worried about receivers. I've seen Jalen Hurts win with just a rookie Devontae Smith as his best option. So
Yeah.
I don't care about receivers in Philadelphia. That's not what makes the offense go. And the thing is, receivers you can find pretty much anywhere.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. I think that skill players, because they're the flashy ones, they're the fun ones to watch, they're the sexy pick. I think that gets oversold. I think that there's just, when it comes to free agency, trade, and like you said, depth in the draft, I trust a day 2 or a day 3 receiver more than I trust that level of the other positions.
And I could see us going edge because we just don't have any.
That's where I was about to go. Is like one guy that I've had on I don't know if this is going to be how it ultimately ends up when I actually start doing this more quote unquote seriously, but one guy that I continually am mocking quote unquote to Philly at 23 is Cassius Howell out of Texas A&M.
Yeah,
that's a good thought.
I've seen it. Yeah,
Boston makes more sense for Seattle. Not just because he's a Washington kid. I think he just fits what they do offensively. And I don't think we'll see what he does on Saturday, but I think he's around that 27 to 32 range, honestly. Same with KC Concepcion. Is that how you say his last name out of Texas A&M? Another guy who I really like.
I did see him mocked to Philly in I think Bucky Brooks's.
You're right. He was a bit high for Bucky.
He's been so volatile, though. I've seen him go in like the early teens, and I've seen him go almost to like the last 2 or 3 picks of the first round.
You'll see. For a lot of those guys, the combine and pro day stabilizes it, so you're gonna see it be stabilized. But Brandon, anything else on ABS? Scoop, go. Sorry, because I want to finish up on the ABS thing.
Well, no. Oh, sorry. Just the only other name I was going to give for Kenny, and obviously I hate Alburn, but the other name that I might give as an edge there is Kendrick Falk.
True, he had a really good day today. Or was he? Did he? Yeah, because edge. Yeah, he had a really good day today.
That's where I would go. Edge is what I'm saying, basically.
Yeah. Brandon, what's your thoughts on ABS so far?
Well, I've always been a big proponent of it. I've always said that I like it a lot. I don't want to see it down the line become a problem in the postseason. That's why I'd rather just let the human element take over, because I don't want to see a perfectly thrown pitch that is like a half a centimeter off the strike zone. That's called a strike 3 to win a World Series. Be challenged and call the ball.
Yeah, that's true.
If it's a 3-2 pitch, whatever it is,
I'm pretty sure one baseball width off of the so-called like zone or whatever. I'm pretty sure one baseball width is still supposed to be called a strike.
It's something like that. There's a weird way that they define the zone this year.
By the way, really quick, Brooks got mocked to Falk in his 1.0, but
why does everybody that I want going to Philly end up going to Commanders in mock drafts? What is
that's going to happen? That's actually going to happen. Anyway, continue, Brandon.
Yeah, but I think I've been a big ABS guy. And a lot of times it's because the elephant in the room, quite literally because of his size and because of just who he is. Aaron Judge gets the most low strike calls of anybody by far in the MLB.
Yeah.
And today he lost the challenge, but the thing is, I trust him during the season to get that part of the game right. But there's times where it's like I don't want to see an umpire. I'm tired of umpires calling strikes specifically at his like ankles. I'm like, the ball is a football of the zone. I know he's a big guy, but it's not a strike. So it's like I need to see. I'm glad that we have this in place now. I'm glad that and I saw somebody, I believe about 2 days ago. I saw somebody in the comment section talking about ABS challenges, and they were saying, "Oh, well, if you win the challenge, it should be like football; you get to keep it." But I'm like, no, because do you realize how much that would slow the game down if you won like 10 challenges?
Wait, sorry, but you do know the rules for ABS, right? If you keep winning them, you can keep going.
Well, apparently there is something I saw where I don't know if it's just maybe a spring thing.
I am. Sorry, Brandon. I am watching this, Nicole, and it's awesome. Continue, Brandon. Sorry, go ahead. With the challenges.
Yeah, but I saw somebody complaining about that, and I didn't get the full picture of it, so I'm not quite sure what they were talking about there, but if that's true, because I just don't remember everything about ABS. I know the whole 2 challenges or whatever it is, and then all that stuff, but I just kind of forget the full details of it. But I like that just because I don't want to see a potential big inning. Like if it's a 3-2 count and it's bases loaded, 2 outs, and it's a tied game, I want that ball off the plate to be called a ball and walk in a run. To potentially either win a game. Regular season is fine. I don't want to see it down the line though be a postseason thing. I would hate it then.
I understand.
So leave it as a regular season.
I understand. From MLB.com, they keep the challenge in a successful reversal. So yeah, it's just gonna keep going. And they called like 6 of them in 1 inning the other day.
I think somebody said in spring that they did it a little differently. I think that
it might be a spring rule, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
you can't have 6 challenges in 1 inning like we had the other day. It's awful.
Yeah.
It ruins the game.
I'll say this. You only keep getting them if you keep winning them, right? If you're having an umpire there that's making 6 bad calls in 1 inning, you got bigger problems.
Exactly. Yeah. But that's exactly my point about the ABS system is, honestly, we're going to get to a point where the ABS system is so good. Why do we need umps? They all suck. Essentially, most of them suck. I don't think there's a reason for this.
Yeah, this is the precursor to basically like the tennis technology of like, every in or out ball on a line. Like
I mean that was a big thing that was used in the original arguments to get this online in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. I think eventually we're not gonna have umpires anymore. We're gonna have umpires, I guess, on the base paths. You're still gonna need that, but at the same time you're gonna have, but in terms of behind the plate, no. Like eventually we're gonna get to a point where it's just gonna be the robot calling balls and strikes.
My biggest problem with it, and I think you guys would agree with this as more hardcore baseball fans than me. Why are they switching around every series? Why does the guy go from home plate to first base to second? There's just the guy who's good at calling balls and strikes stays there. The guy who's good at first stays there for the series. Yeah. This is not hard. Why? Like the referee in the NFL doesn't all of a sudden become the line judge the next game. No, they're the ref the whole season because that's what the crew is designed to be. Why does the MLB insist having every single goddamn person in a crew go behind the plate where most of them suck? I just don't understand this. I don't get it. It's so again. It's like, why was Angel Hernandez like? Angel Hernandez even sucked at third base. He didn't know his eye between his ears. He needed LASIK. He could have gotten free LASIK, but he didn't get it, I guess.
Oh, that was how I felt about what is it, Joe West. Joe West was like that.
Joe West, yeah.
You remember the call in the Yankees-Orioles series like 13, 14 years ago in the playoffs? It was the year that Teixeira had that horrible thing happen in the playoffs. Jerry Meals.
Yeah. God, it's been so long. I vaguely remember.
It's I don't know what happened to him, but I'll never forget the memes that basically was like, remember that meme that was like, I'm gonna let you finish because of the Kanye Taylor thing. It basically was it was basically riffing that, saying, I'm gonna let you finish, but Jerry Meals, but Jim Joyce had the worst call of all time.
I just don't understand. And again, as Scoop outlined, umps, if they're good, we don't talk about them. And
yeah, it's like they're like O linemen. They're like O linemen.
I think I'm looking at it. I think I'm looking at it right now. Hold on. Is this it, or why is the Yankee fans like
Richie Garcia? I'm guessing he's talking about the umpire from a while back.
Oh, he's talking about the.
He's talking about an Orioles Yankee series from 20 years or from like 30 years ago.
What the hell was the kid's name that reached over the fence?
I don't remember.
Jeffrey Mayer. Jeffrey Meyer.
That's it. He's talking about Jeffrey Mayer.
Yeah, no, I was talking about like 2012, man. I wasn't talking about 96.
Yeah, none of us were alive, and the three of us weren't alive in 96.
Anything else before we go? Because we are hitting time.
I mean, we all know that this show could go all night long if we wanted.
I would say just keep an eye on tomorrow because it's gonna be kind of special to keep it because we like Pat McAfee around here. He's gonna have Jack Hughes on, so
I gotta watch that. It's gonna be hilarious.
Yeah, and it sucks we didn't get to talk Olympic stuff or just the sports side of it. Because we could talk about all the other stuff that happened after it, but
no interest in that whatsoever, to be honest with you.
Yeah. But the Olympics, just to finish off, it's like it's great to see the men and women's team take it home. It's great to see that it's the first time it's ever happened. It's great for the men's team to win it for the first time in 46 years, actually to the day, which just makes it even sweeter.
And Johnny Grudel, baby.
And the best part was that gets lost in that goal that I wish more people would bring up was that, there's got to be some, if everybody, I know that this movie is silly, but we're talking about like, angels in the outfield, how there's some divine intervention when it comes to sports. Sometimes that you feel it, or like, remember in college football that it was where a player tragically passed away, and then there was it might have been it was the Raiders game, I think it might have been, and it was like their fallen teammate. Like that, like in that off season, and then the very first play was either a preseason game or it was the regular season. There was a bird that came onto the field and actually ran like a gunner on the kickoff, down the field.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
so it was something like that. But there's these little like divine intervention things that give people reason to believe.
D. Gordon home run.
The D. Gordon home run, didn't hit a home run the rest of that season. That was the only one he hit.
He pretty much never hit home runs,
and he just wasn't a home run hitter anyway. And then you get to this moment where everybody knows how important this being a U.S. Olympian or a U.S. men's player meant to Johnny Gaudreau, and to have on that ice, to have his two best friends on the ice for the game-winning goal. And is you can definitely tell that there was with Connor Hellebuck making the save behind his back with the stick. Nathan McKinnon,
Presidential Medal of Honor for that one play. And you know what? I agree with it. Give him the Medal of Honor.
Not just that one play, the whole damn game. He stopped over 40 shots, and they were all some really quality chances too.
Yeah.
And then you get to the Nathan McKinnon missed open net, and everybody says, no, it wasn't missed. Johnny just blocked the shot. Like, that's so funny. There's things that, like to have Werenski and Larkin on the ice for the final goal, the golden goal to win it, to just everything. And also, not for nothing, but the U.S. did win gold on what was George Washington's birthday. So funny.
I didn't even realize that. Holy
funny enough. So someone said between Johnny Gaudreau, George Washington, and there's something else that they said between all these different things that the Canada never stood a chance against the U.S.
Really quick, Kenny, we are planning a league right now. I'm doing a $10 buy-in fantasy league, but I'm not against doing two leagues. What time are we starting Saturday? Right
3
here,
p.m. Eastern time.
3 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, right in the middle of the combine. I feel like that's the easiest. right before everyone goes to dinner on the East Coast. Go a couple hours.
And if we did a full show, we'd be beyond exhausted. So
yeah, just 2 hours. We can go more, but the combine basically ends at 5 Eastern anyway.
Not one time since the three of us or four of us, because I don't want to exclude Shane, even though he ain't here tonight. Not one time that the four of us have said we're gonna keep it to a certain time frame have we ever been anywhere close to that. So, that's largely my fault. I will admit that.
But I will say, like, for a show like this, like, we could go on all day, but we would get bored because we are watching Men in Tights run, and so I just want to.
It's not the combat that's going to keep us entertained. It's going off of each other's craziness.
True, but
here he's he's talking about the K&K fantasy league.
I'm down to do. I'm down to do
yeah,
2
I'm 10
leagues.
toes down. I'm 10 toes down for that.
I'm
already going to be in like 4 other leagues anyway.
Are we doing we doing cat or are we doing point? I'm gonna do one.
I was just gonna ask
league.
that. Can we please do 1 point league? Oh, what? Okay, we just said the opposite things.
No, because we're doing a point league for ours. Let's Kenny, you're welcome to join us for that.
Oh, ours is point league.
Ours is point, but I want to do cat because you guys want to do point, which is idiotic. It's dumb.
No, it's not. What's idiot? Oh, okay.
Cat makes some. Cat is harder, which is why I like it. It's harder. You have to manage it better.
I don't want to think about fantasy sports. I want to set my lineup for the week, and that's it.
Exactly. I don't. Yeah.
Not only that. I don't want to go and have to roster Billy Hamilton for 7 weeks because he's the only one who steals bases on my team when he does F all else.
That is true. Anyway, we'll figure that out in the next few weeks. I'm waiting for next week, and then I'm gonna kind of start planning that out. Cat. I want to do 1 cat league, man. Like, just give me 1. If we're gonna do point for hours, I want to do at least 1 cat league.
Here's your cat league.
I know. We can call it the Pringles League.
Yeah,
the Pringles
exactly.
League of Demon Cats.
I will say thank you for not jumping on my keyboard today. I'm proud of you. He said, "I'll let you guys decide on whatever cat leagues are from." Also, just tying it back into, because we kind of answered Kenny's question, but just to say it more directly to everybody, just to remind everybody what we said last week. Saturday, for the first time, this show this network at 3 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be bringing on it's going to be the 3 of us and our buddy Coach Shane Hansen over from Football After Hours. We talked about that show several times on here, but it's coming to the K&K family. And on Saturday at 3 p.m., we're doing a live stream during the NFL Combine. It's for those who didn't see our Senior Bowl coverage on FAH. Basically, it's a live stream. We will do commentary, or we'll talk about things as they unfold, but also a lot of other things that have nothing to do with sports will come up as well. It gets crazy. It gets wild. It's a good time. And I really encourage y'all to come tune in. If you want your peak balance of entertainment and sports, this is going to be the place to be on Saturday at 3 p.m.
Well, here's the thing. The Combine is so boring. I don't even want to talk about it the whole time. And then secondly,
who's not done anything but watch it every time you call me.
I know. And I still think it's boring. But also, this show is going to be non-serious. The draft show is also non-serious, but every other week, like, I think we're immediately kind of going into, I have to look at the schedule. I forgot. And I made the schedule and I forgot. I think we're going straight into Shane's thing. With
Flyers Nickel.
Yeah, Trevor's egret scored.
Of course it was. Z, thank you. I cannot believe we got Z, but he has rapidly become one of my favorite players.
But yeah, so 3:00 tomorrow. Come join us, 3:00 Eastern. It's gonna be fun. So we'll see you guys then.
Not tomorrow. Saturday.
And also, just someone put up the Michael Jordan "I took that personally" meme right now, because Kenny just said Scoops give us up after 3 weeks anyway, so we don't have to worry about his team. I am taking so much shit from people this week on the way I play Madden, the way I play fantasy. Y'all are setting up a villain arc y'all cannot understand. I'll see y'all next week.
The Madden thing is mostly me, because I'm really confused about how you play Madden, and we need to fix that. Well, mostly
we're gonna
Brandon.
fix it. We're gonna fix it. Yeah.
We're gonna fix it. Yeah.
You know what? We might just do that while we're on the combine show on Saturday.
Oh my god. We cannot live stream me playing Madden only because I the stuff that I say is absolutely just absurd. Like I don't make sense. I don't make English sense when I'm talking about to myself.
Keith, I'm sorry, I don't really know how to answer that. Because I haven't been following it too heavily.
Your thoughts on Hochevar and NASCAR? I'm sorry, I
have no idea.
Don't have any comment, honestly.
I don't follow NASCAR enough to give it a comment. I apologize.
We are working on trying to get a little bit more into NASCAR. But.
Yeah, and in fact, shout out to Roy Osborne, who has definitely been one of the guys who's kind of shared the most, I would say, NASCAR content in the comments on this show.
I will say that, oh my god, look how enhanced my hand is compared to the old computer.
You're enhanced.
Look at that.
You're enhanced hand.
I noticed as I was making
a preview for Saturday evening.
I noticed as I was making the point. That's why I was like, I've never seen my hand look this good in it.
I thought you were doing you were doing like ET phone home.
Yes, Kenny, we'll do it live. We are gonna do that live for sure.
We'll do it live.
That when it comes to NASCAR, though, Keith, I am going to the Poconos in June for the one of the races. So I'm going on Sunday for the NASCAR Cup Series.
Oh, that's cool.
So
I can't wait to watch that because Pocono is really fun.
Yeah. Is that going to be at the same time as the World Cups?
Is it?
I mean,
because it's in June.
That race, the race I'm going to is June 14th.
So it's like right when it starts. So you're not
around.
How long is the World Cup? Is it like a week?
A month. It's a month long.
It's a week. How many games you can play in one day?
What part of I haven't watched soccer more than 3 or 4 times in my life don't you understand?
It's a month.
It's at the Olympics for 2 weeks.
I'm so mad that this is well. Number one, I'm not mad. This is the perfect World Cup to introduce Scoop to football, like soccer, because it's literally 2 miles away from him. It's like right there.
I also I keep pointing the wrong direction. Rob also called me the other day, and I finally understand what an offside is in.
Yeah.
Oh,
I gave him. I was watching the Champions League because remember I was telling you about the Juventus game and the Benfica game. So during the Benfica game, I found like a good example of the offside rule. So I said,
basically offside for dummies, and he sent it to me.
Yeah. So there we go. All right. Well, peace, everybody.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll see you. I can now say Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Rob time, I think, and with our friend Coach Shane Hansen in tow for the first K&K held episode of Football After Hours, and we'll all see you again, of course, next Thursday. I forget what day it is because there's 28 days this month.
The 5th. The 5th.
Thank you. Same Scoop time, same Scoop channel. Scoop, Brandon, and Scoop, and Rob.
Oh, boy. Rewind it and redo it.
Yeah, the outro was going so well until that last second. Oh, wait, real quick. Kenny says, come down to Dover, boys. I went to school with race team owner Cesar Bacadella.
Oh, that's fire. Dover's cool, man. Dover's cool, man. I'd love to go to Dover.
I'm guessing that means Dover, Delaware?
Where is Dover?
Dover,
I know it was in Delaware.
It's the DMV, isn't it, pretty much?
Yeah, it's in Delaware. Yeah, Dover Motor Speedway. Yeah, Delaware. Yeah.
Okay.
Dover, Delaware.
Yeah, so DMV, that's DC, Maryland, Virginia, right?
Yeah, but I think it's somewhere. Yeah, but it's the area.
I would love that, man. Dover's sick.
All right, take 2. Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Next week, same Scoop time, same Scoop channel on Thursday. Robert, Brandon, and Scoop out. Have a good night.
Peace.
See you.